But it's interesting how we met um, way back 2017, 2018, probably.
You stuck out then when I met you at that point, in 2015. What attracted me to your character was the simple fact that you were you. You were unapologetically you.
We can't talk about MCM without mentioning Mikel.
Oh
Um,
man,
dude,
exactly.
what attracted you to football?
What's a lot? I traveled a bunch for football, played out the country. I was in the NFL draft, the 2018 draft, went undrafted. Um, I've done a lot, so it's more or less what it taught me. But I wanted to make sure that I did everything possible.
Uh, how do you feel about when some people don't think that rappers belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Never thought about that until you asked that question.
All right, welcome. Here we are. We have our debut episode of a was soon to be very popular webcast or podcast, however you want to call it. And
Absolutely.
and I want to get on here and say that this is not Red Rose Rhetoric, but it is going to be that format where I grab guests that I care about and get to know them. And my first guest here ever on this, check out this name, Broken Down with Daniel. I'm deciding to use my name, and I'm saying Broken
I
Down
like
with
it.
Daniel. Yeah, this will be on the Broken Controller Productions channel, my second channel. That is one of my goals for this upcoming year in 2026 to utilize that. Welcome, Baron Jack Jackson Jr. Welcome
Okay.
to the show.
Hey, what's up, bro? I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on.
Uh,
Definitely an honor.
I mean, it's. I mean, who else to wrap up the end of 2025 with somebody soon to be legendary than the Cat Man, the Ginger Man, the Gingerbread Man, Baron Jackson.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to this past month, this past week? Tell me about it. Let's get comfortable real quick. Tell me what's going on your schedule.
Um. This week. Well, let me think. What was going on this week? I went. I've done a vlog every day this week on my YouTube channel. Um, Various topics. Sometimes just different topics. Sometimes I'll tell a story about something, or sometimes I will. I told a couple stories. I talked about what inspires my music, or I talked about various things. So I did a vlog every day this week on my YouTube channel. Um, I haven't been on my TikTok channel at all this week because um, they're not recommending it because they believe I'm impersonating myself. So they don't believe it's me. They think there's somebody pretending to be me. Because there's been several TikTok channels made of me by various people.
Okay.
And so when I responded, I did appeal the thing on my music TikTok channel. I sent them a picture of my ID. I said, these are my two channels that I own. I am the rightful owner, right? So hope they get squared away. So because that got limited over there, they're not recommending it. That's when I've been focusing more on the YouTube channel, and that's what I really want. I really want to build that up more anyway, because YouTube is like the biggest search engine ever. Um, so that obviously enjoy spending time with my mom. That's probably one of my favorite things. Streaming as well. So I've been just this week has been streaming, hanging out with mom, vlogging, working on some music as well. Always working on music. Um, Working on different strategies, developing game plans on furthering the brand and touching more people. But I'm obviously doing it. But what I've been doing lately is streamlining to the 5 or 10 people who support me. So whatever those 5 to 10 people want from me, I'm making sure I give that while creating other things because uh, I learned maybe about a couple weeks ago, that a record label will never tell you what you could do with 50,000 fans. That you could be rich with
Yeah.
just 50,000 fans. They'll never tell you that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So that just was a reminder that like you need to streamline to your community. And you see examples of it with NBA YoungBoy. You saw it with Soldier Boy when he
Yeah.
popped off. You see it with 50 Cent. You know, because how 50 Cent went from a mega star artist, and now he's doing TV shows that reflect the music he was making because his audience, they were in college, right?
Hmm.
When he was bubbling, when he blew up. Now they are family members. Now now they got families and houses, so they're at home watching TV. So when you watch like the biggest artists and how they dominated, they're streamlining to their community, and other people are coming as well. So that's I've been mainly focusing on that as of lately,
Yeah.
streamlining the people that support me.
Man, we got a whole range of topics here. I mean, I couldn't even stop writing down questions. So we'll definitely get into those. But spoke of 50 Cent. Man, are you a fan of that haircut he had for Balrog?
Yeah, I just seen that drawing. He drawn with that joint. Yeah, he drawn. He definitely drawn a little bit. But I mean, shit like if you're not drawn, right? For those who don't know, I'm from North Philly. If you're not drawn a little bit, are you really trying? That's how I look at it now. If you're not drawing a little bit, if you're not like kind of like, whoa, what are you doing? Are you actually trying? You're probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like probably not.
gosh.
If I can't look at you and go, what the fuck is
I
probably
can't blame him. They gave him a messed up haircut in the game anyway. So it's just the fact that nobody else, Jonathan Majors would have been a great Balrog, but I think, I guess inside joke for both of us, the Rog of all Rogs is playing his role. But
yeah.
to further cap this off, I see, you're a cat guy. You even made a
Yeah.
song about them. You got some cats right on the bed, and ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the felines here, not the ladies. So,
Yeah.
you know, talk about your cats. Why? How come you were a cat guy instead of a dog person?
Well, we were broke, so we couldn't afford a dog. So that was like mainly what it was. We were
It's
broke. We couldn't
convenience.
afford a dog. Yeah, it was more like convenience. At least for me as a kid, because I wanted a pet. So we couldn't afford a dog, and we were in an apartment. And my dad, I think my dad was probably 5'6". My little brother's like 5'7". I'm 5'4". So we all three
Damn.
very very fair skinned men. My dad and my little brother got much like softer, curlier hair, so we get accused of being Dominican and Puerto Rican and a whole bunch of other shit all the time. So because we had the small apartment, we didn't get no low ass dog because we a bunch of short light skinned dudes. So we thought like fuck it, just get a cat. And my dad got us a cat when I was like maybe 6, like 5 or 6 or something like that. And I've had cats ever since. I didn't find out until later that my dad was a huge cat person back in the day when he was young. And then that my mom's mom, my grandmother, she was a huge cat person. My mom loves cats. So it's just a whole bunch of people that love cats. And as of right now, today, I have 6 cats.
Hmm.
I left Millersville with 3. Came back to Philly with 3 cats. My brother's cat, which is technically like my nephew, and then OJ and Royalty. And I came home with just those 3. And unfortunately, my brother Kyle, he got murdered in July. Um, and we gave him a cat. We gave him Tommy Jr. Because he looks like Tom. Him and his dad look like Tom from Tom and Jerry. So we
Yeah.
gave him Tommy Jr. So when he passed on, his fiance, with everything going on, she wasn't able to take care of the cat. There's a whole bunch going on. So we got him back. And then, not to make this story too long, but there was a cat out back that had a litter of like 7 kittens. All 7 of the kittens died. And
Oh.
cool. Yeah, all 7 of the kittens died. And that messed me up pretty bad. But the sister of that cat had 2 kittens. And
Okay.
both those kittens were in the backyard trying to, get to the food because their mom wasn't taking care of them at this point. They were old enough. So my mom said, BJ, grab that one. Grab that one. And you can't separate the 2. They're brothers. So we took them both, and that's how I ended up with 6.
Yeah. It seems like they're all comfortable in that mattress. Well, I love cats. I think we had one. My sister had a cat, but it ran out the house when we moved. Um, forget what house it was, but we were moving stuff in, and it was nighttime, and when we were grabbing stuff out the door, it just darted out, and I was like, "Thank good." That was the one time I didn't like the cat because the cat would didn't it just destroyed our skin. Like it was not nice. I don't know where they got that cat, but I don't know what they were doing. We didn't know what we were doing. But you know,
It takes time. It takes time. Some cats have worse. Some cats have certain temperaments. Um, with all the cats I have, all six of them, I'm positive cutting you off. My bad. With all the cats that I had very intimate moments with all of them. And with OJ used to just sit on my lap while I play the game.
yeah.
Matter of fact, y'all met OJ when we just got him. They were actually at my house. We watched what the fuck was that Michael B. Jordan movie we watched? It was an action movie. I forgot. We ordered wings. I forgot. Was it like Tom? No, it wasn't Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six and that like
Was
that.
it? It didn't have. It must have had guns in it tonight. It
Yeah,
had.
it was he. I remember he was in jail. He was in like jail. He ended up beating the guards up in jail or something like that. I forgot the name of the movie.
Oh,
But that I remember that night because that's when I got him OJ probably a couple of days before that. And then with like royalty, same thing. Jumping on my lap while I play the game. With the two kittens, they had eye infections when I got them, so I would have to watch them up and then like give them their eye drops. So I had very intimate moments with all of them. So they all last. I got a video from last night. All six of them was on my bed at one time sleep. And so, but I've met people with cats that are like bad shit crazy, run out the house, biting everybody. I've met them, and I'm like, yo, what did you do? Because the cat, I've never had a cat that act like
mm-hmm.
that. Like in my life, I've never had a cat that was just mean. Like they got a little aggressiveness to them, but not just mean. Like OJ would bite me if I was to grab him and shake him or something like that. He'd bite me then, but I could pick OJ up, hold him up, kiss him on his forehead. He'll just sit there.
I
I
liked it.
always find it interesting.
I liked it. I mean, hopefully a cat I get will do that, but I don't want it to sit on my lap and then I do something and it fly all the way up the string. But it's interesting how we met way back. I want to say 2017, 2018, probably
No, I think it was 16. You got to
2016. Yeah,
you got to the
it
Ville.
was
You got to the Ville
2016.
in 15, right?
Yeah, it was 2016 because it was either part of one of the first um MCM group, like I guess we went to like a bowling alley or something like that.
Yep, 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 yep.
So for brief, well, not brief, because we're gonna go through everything here. I got to college, 2015, and there was a group in the summer called PSSI. I don't think it exists anymore. And one of the peer staff was a dude named Solomon. So shout out to Solomon. Solomon liked everything that that was different about me, and we were kind of like some of this. We had similar thoughts and processes and things like that. So fast forward to the start of the semester, he tells me you should come down to this group that we have. It's called MCM. Happens on Fridays, and that's when that was coming into the end of the previous regime of the old school quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote MCM. So there was a few people that I'm forgetting, but there was Claude still used to go, Sid used to go. Uh, oh man, forget it. I'll remember it sooner or later, but I don't want to keep thinking of his name. But it was a light skinned dude who was like really political and stuff. You probably remember who he is. He used to have an afro. Bernard used to go. So I was in that group, and I don't know. I would say a funny thing here or two. So and Dwight, shout outs to Dwight, Mr. Dwight Horsey. I was just kind of there. Then we were. I think we didn't get really. acclimated until those trips again with the bowling alley, and then we took that picture,
Yeah.
and then we kind of got to know each other, and then I would say that's pretty accurate. Um, so I don't know how you feel, or if you remember other things part of that story, or anything interesting throughout our meeting.
When I got back to the Ville, one of my sidebar because I 2015 I just wasn't in school. 2015, yeah, 2015 fall, I just wasn't in school. So I attempted to transfer to Cheney, and there was something going on with my financial aid that didn't allow me to get uh, Stafford loans. They didn't believe I was an independent student. My dad had died, and I was living on my own, but they didn't believe I was independent, so that got really wonky. Um, so and I actually came up to Millersville during that time period. Yeah, I came up there like during that, like even when I wasn't in school, I came up there. And I actually had met you. I actually met you in 2015. Um, I actually met you in 2015. It was actually during that balloon. My ex girlfriend brought her balloon business up there. That's when I met. That's
Yeah,
when I met the new guys that were coming in. And then I finally came back to the Ville in 16. And then I eventually did transfer out to play ball in 17. But when I came back to the Ville, um, the first thing, because you stuck out then when I met you at that point, in 2015. And then when I finally came back, um, what, what, what attracted me to your character was the simple fact that you were you. You were unapologetically you. And when you're unapologetically yourself, you can be polarizing. And I'm very polarizing myself. Some people love the hell out of me. Some people are like, yo, I can't stand you. So I understood that. And a lot of like your nature, you were very open about things. Even when they were embarrassing, you're like, bro, I did X. You like, God damn, you did that. Like,
yeah,
but you were saying things that we had that a lot of us had either thought about doing or actually done. We just didn't want to talk about it. And you would be the one like, yeah, well, I did this. And so I remember that. And I think the thing that we begin to bond a lot over, because I believe Dwight told you that me and you were connected. He said, yo, as a guy is coming back, you guys are going to get along real good. And so I think we bonded over. I forgot exactly what it was. I know the retreat, the bowl. It was the retreat we had one time, the bowling, and the bowling alley trip. There was a lot of those type of events, and just the every Friday meeting up and decompressing about the week. Um, but I remember saying, "Damn, he's him." And you would talk about like the girls and dating and relationships and I remember we always just say, yo, D, just be you, bro. Like, there's gonna be a woman that's gonna want to wear your link hoodie. Like
oh yeah,
she's gonna wear it. Like we used to say, like it was like uh, So I remember like there was just a lot of different like small things that added up. And believe it or not, most of my closest friends from Millersville were in MCM. Like, there's not too many people who I'm friends with today from Millersville that were not in MCM in one way, shape, or another. Like, my closest friends were in MCM, and other guys like I'm not around Chris Copeland all the time, but me and Chris
mhm,
Copeland are friends. He was in MCM at various times. You know what I'm saying? Like, so most of my closest friends at one point or another were in MCM from Millersville. Most of them. So,
yeah. Shout out to Hayes. I remember that shit too.
but yeah, man, I was talking to Hayes last week. Talking to Hayes last week.
Uh, man, and there's a lot of members of MCM that kind of was in that picture, but weren't as close as I would say. You and I, and then the other five of us. But we can't talk about MCM without mentioning Mikel.
Oh
Um,
man, no,
dude,
savage.
you want to talk about a player that knew the game. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff, but that guy, I lived with, roomed with Mikel in the pods, just to see how easy it was to finesse his way into a situation. And I think we all know what we
Wait.
mean. He didn't even care. Yeah, I love that. But football, that's a big part of your story. Not it's not just the music, but football. So tell us how what attracted you to football, and why did you want to do it for so long? When I would assume from knowing you for quite some time, you were good at other sports you could have possibly made it in.
What's a lot? First sport I remember loving was basketball. A sport that I probably would have dominated at naturally are combat sports. Um, Wrestling would have been something I probably dominated at. I
Yeah.
never did it because it wasn't readily available. But wrestling, boxing, I'd have been like one trainer I had told me like, "Yo, you would have dominated at X, Y, and Z. Like your physique, your mentality, that's But basketball was like the first love I remember. But I had always been a football lover, and I didn't know that. So my first words were actually football. Didn't know that.
Okay.
No, my first word was ball. My
Not
first word was
not
ball
dad,
specifically.
not mom, but
No,
football.
no,
Okay.
nope. My first word was ball. Ball. And I didn't know that. What was my first? She said your first word was ball, and then she said that like one of your biggest statements was "Don't tell me no." So when you think about those two things, it kind of sums up the person I am because I haven't changed much since then. And um, so it's always been there. Um, the only problem was I didn't have the initial support to play it. I would have to go play street games. I would have to like sneak outside and practice by myself. Like I had to like I had to learn football in the most unorthodox way to learn football. Like and so when you have to go earn something like that, you don't let it go. You
Mm,
don't let it go easy. So I had to like sneak outside. And, like, I was always the smallest guy. I wasn't always. I was fast when you ask other people. In my brain, I wasn't fast enough. I'm watching Steve Smith, and I'm like, I'm not fast enough because I seen him and he's fast. I need to be fast like that. So in my mind, I didn't have all the capabilities, but I was more capable than I thought. So I had to work really hard. And so when you invest a lot of time into what you're doing, you don't just let it go. So um, but it's more or less what football taught me is that nothing happens overnight, and even if you're naturally gifted at it, there's more that you can learn and become even better at. And I traveled a bunch for football, played out the country. I was in the NFL draft, the 2018 draft, went undrafted. Um, I've done a lot, so it's more or less what it taught me. But I wanted to make sure that I did everything possible to give myself a shot. And I did a lot of things. There's some things I should have done differently and would have done differently if I known more. Because football is very political, much like the WWE entertainment is political. It's all political. You have to know. Number one, you gotta be good at what the hell you're doing. That's number one. Right? You gotta be good at what you're doing. But if you don't have the resources and know how to the know how, then you might not even know how to be good in the political sense. If that even makes sense. So what I mean by that is like
mm,
in football, the most important thing in football, especially a guy my size, is your 40-yard dash. No
yeah.
matter how good you catch the ball, no matter how good you run routes, you're 40. As a man in my size, it needs to be blazing. I've always been fast, but I didn't know how to run a 40. When I
Okay.
was getting ready for the combine and the pro days, we weren't specifically training 40. And that's one thing I would do differently. I would make sure I got to a speed. I would try to get to Rich Garcia. I would have found someone at new speed to teach me specifically the 40. That was fast. Just did not run a 40. Just couldn't run a good 40 at the time. I ran a good 40 much later. But it's just I invested so much time in it, so much energy in it, and knowing how good I became through that work and everything, bro, it was impossible to let go. Uh, but I'm at a point in my life today where I'm like, all right, man, I can hang up the cleats and be all right. You know what I'm saying? But when you see Steve Smith dominate and you see Steve Smith with his wife at that time, his wife and his 4 kids, and they had been together, got married in college, I kind of wanted a story similar. I wanted a story similar, but that wasn't my story. And it's okay that it wasn't. Um, but as a kid, you kind of want to do things what you deem as the right way. And watching Steve Smith and playing ball and training hard, that felt like the right way for me.
Yeah, I actually can attest to a few things with that. I came to know about sports very late. I mean, my assumption was like a lot of people find out sports through gym class. You know, I mean, obviously you're not playing football like tackle football in gym
Hmm.
class. You usually do that with you know if you grow up in that type of area, in someone's backyard or
Yeah.
yeah, with the grass and stuff. But I didn't like a lot of educational stuff in school. Maybe math because I was good at it, but when it got to gym, that was where I loved it. We did the dodgeball, we did um, the rock climbing. We had to do the pacer test. I would crush that. Get your stretch, whatever. I can't do it now, but so when I got to sports, the first sport I did was, I believe, it was track and field. I was a high jumper, and I did that. Loved it. I think the highest I got was 5'7".
Hmm.
I believe it was 5'7". And then I did the 200. I did the 200. I did the 200. Then I did the 4x200. And
Oh yeah.
then I accidentally did cross country because I just thought it was track and field, and I did not like cross country.
No, that's pain. It's real painful.
Yeah.
That's painful. That's painful.
So um, because I'm not a long distance runner, but I was in pretty good shape. I could keep
Hmm.
my thing. There was one race that was so bad. They all knew this one kid was going to win because he had such good conditioning at an early age. They went up to him at the starting line. They said, "Okay, we know that you're going to finish. Just know that this is the route, and just come to us when you finish and stuff." And he finished, like he crushed all of us by like 7 minutes. But then
Yeah.
after that, I do wrestling, and I did wrestling towards the end of middle school, and I liked it, but I wasn't really good. I just thought it was I thought it was WWE wrestling. My coach got upset because he said this happens every year, and I wasn't too confident. I was a shy kid, but I loved learning it. But then
Hmm.
I didn't get a chance to develop real skill. And then when you get to high school, because and this is something also I got to ask because our schools were different. Middle school was sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, and high school was ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So that being said, I only got 1 year of middle school, which was like, you know, people who aren't that good, straight up to people who've been doing this all their lives. So I was on JV for the entire time. So I never really got that good. I had a few wins and stuff, but I wish I kept up with it when I got to Millersville. But is that how that works in your school system, if you remember?
Specifically, like my school, high school for us is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Okay.
Middle school is 4th through 8th, I
Fourth
think.
through eighth?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's middle school for us. And you got we have, for me, it was pre-K, then elementary, then middle, and then high school. So I think our middle school is like 4th through 8th or 5th through 8th, one of them. Um, but you do run into killers like that though. You was like that's in everything. Uh, yeah, that's in everything. Um, like I was one of those killers in chess. Um, by my time by the 8th grade, I was one of the best kids in the pub in chess.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I was one of the best kids in the pub in chess. I had an undefeated season. I didn't lose to the championship. Like, my only loss that year was in the championship game. Um, so yeah, no, you run into killers like that in everything, sports, math Olympics, chess, math Olympics, sports. You going if you start. That's why it's important to have a parent that kind of knows.
Yeah.
A lot of times, some of us don't got parents that know, so they can't prepare us mentally for what's about to happen. Like, hey, you're in the 8th grade and you're decent at this, but you're about to go against guys who've been doing this their whole life. So you're going to have to work really hard and understand you're not going to be as good as them off the jump. And it's like, okay, man, I can deal with that. But If your parents don't know and can't prepare you, then you about to go in here thinking, okay, no, you about to miss my highlight reel. You gonna be the thing that make him go D1. It's gonna be your fault, and you have no idea that you're so oblivious to it. And I think that's where a lot of people's parents kind of fail because they're ignorant and don't know. And you go out there thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the next Kurt Angle. You get slammed on your shit, right? Or I'm gonna be the next Steve Smith, and you get personalized
Oh my
shredded.
gosh.
Like that happens,
It
and
did.
because you got people like my brother, my brother Sean, he got his boy playing ball now. Messiah is I don't know 8 9 years old. Messiah playing ball since he was 4. So
Mm-hmm.
Messiah's gonna be way ahead in Little Sean. They're gonna be way ahead of their competition by the time they're 15. It's gonna be like, damn, it's night and day. So you gotta think about that, and then you got the kid that's like, Mom, I want to try this. Okay, sure, go ahead and try. I'll buy you the cleats.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna try this. Yeah, and you got a kid out there that's looking to make a fucking name, and he looking at you, and he can see you are green, you are raw, you are steak before it hit the grill.
Yeah.
You're not medium rare, you just rare.
You came
There's
in the
nothing.
pack. You came in the package. You're not even open
Yep.
yet. You gotta.
You, ain't no seasoning on you,
No.
nothing. You like, oh yeah, I like TikTok. And I'm not mad at those kids.
No.
I'm not
No.
gonna be one.
Yeah.
I went to scholarship, and your bitch ass right here not know what you're doing. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Take
that's
advantage.
kind of so it happens. I will say this though. My cheat code was two things. I was most athletic. I was more athletic than most kids. I'm faster than most kids. Quicker than most kids. I jump higher. I always had that little grit to me, like I'll fight you. Those things made me compete well at whatever I decided to do.
Yeah.
So even so, I would like when I play basketball was something I love to do. Again, I'm quicker than most guys. I'm faster than most guys. I can dribble the ball. So even when I stopped playing ball, I still had those attributes. I just wasn't as skilled in the basketball specifically. Um, and so I was always able to compete at what I wanted to compete at. I just wish that I would have. I think my mom stopped taking me to ball practice one day. She just stopped. I wish I would have just kept going and just didn't stop. That would have kept my confidence high to remind me you can compete with these guys. You're better than most of them. One and two, I would have had more opportunities in the sports space earlier. But I had to grind really hard later because I didn't. Like I said, the political side. If you don't know that side, you're gonna make up. You're going to do a lot of shit later because you didn't know about the damn camps you got to go to and like you don't know about all that stuff you missing.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff that a lot of dudes are just athletes are missing because their parents don't know, they don't know, and you are there just you thinking, well, if I go score 15 points a game, I got it. Nah, you got to score 15 and go to them fucking camps and AAUs, and it's a whole world that myself and other athletes missed because we didn't know. It's a whole world that we just didn't know existed.
Yeah. The one the something you said reminded me of a moment I had, and I have to share because that did happen to me. So, well, first off, one of the things I wish I did do if I could, go back is I wish I would have stayed with track and field because I did start that early, and because I'm already tall, I'm already like I'm still pretty thin. I could eat, but I was never a big guy. Like I think all my brother and my sister at one point did track and field, um, but I'm the only one that really took it and like continued it. And since I
Yeah,
started that in middle school, I wish I just continued that in high school and I could have just whatever. But I loved wrestling. Like I really loved it when I first learned. Obviously, it wasn't the WWE, and then I learned that it was like this real stuff and you know politics. Kids do take liberties with you
yes,
because they either think you never experienced real um like like determination or pain or whatever. So when you go for a hold or something and you're like, because I'm pretty happy throughout the pretty much throughout my life, especially at that time. I didn't know that when someone like does this on the back of your neck, like that, like it was legal. Like I thought, hey, like why did you do it that hard? It's like people were going to do that, and you see kids in the middle school with forearms like this.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and also, this was the first time I ever experienced going to the gym, lifting weights, and I'm like, and we all, I'm pretty sure this is just common with sports groups, but we all go as a group. Like there was no
Yeah.
like, oh, you go to the gym on your own, you go to the gym on your own. I mean, some people did. Obviously, that's how they got better. But I just thought, oh, we go to the gym as a group. Oh, well, then that's all I needed to do. And I liked, learning how to do the bench press, and it was exciting. But so the more I was doing it, the more I was learning the sport. Again, I'm still watching wrestling. This is 2012.
Okay.
And this is when The Rock came back. Okay? So when The Rock came back, The Rock came back and he had a match with The Miz and R-Truth. And he did this thing at the entrance where he would hype himself up, right? So man, it was an exciting time to be a fan at that time.
Yeah.
So I remember, and like I said, my mom didn't really know anything about wrestling. She did send me to a camp. Ken Chertow was a camp I went to one time. It was great. There was a lot of people there. So I learned more moves, psychology, and things like that. So I thought I was like, I upgraded my level in a little bit that I did. So I had this match. They finally got me on a match. It was a home, well, I guess you call it a hometown or a home meet, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm getting introduced. I'm doing the. I wish I still had this video. I'm doing the thing The Rock does at the entrance, walking
Wow.
back and forth. I did the goosebumps thing. I did the goosebumps thing, and then I walked to the mat, and you have to put the color thing around your ankle, get into position, shake the hand. Kid, we do the thing, freaking ties me up, and I lose instantly like that. And I was like, what? What
So you did
happened?
all
All
that
of that.
peacocking. It got folded in like a second. That's some if we had social media that good
Oh
like we
my
do now,
god.
oh you would be a legendary meme. You would be
Oh my
legendary.
gosh.
That's legendary. You did all that peacocking. You did all that and then went in there and folded. That's fucking
Oh
hilarious.
my gosh, dude. It was crazy. Because then it's like, well, it's over. Now you got to watch the rest of the matches, and you can't really go anywhere. And I'm like, wow. I don't know the next time I'm going to get a match either. So that was, oh gosh. That made me laugh. So moving on from that, is that why football, or I'm assuming football led you to Millersville
Yeah.
initially? Okay, so yeah, talk more about how the early days of being a freshman in Millersville and being on or trying out to be on the football team.
Well, there's a couple things that one, football was a part of it, but track was as well. Like I was a track guy. I
Okay.
ran track in high school as well. I didn't run track until my senior year. Again, it's something that if I would have known, I would have started track in middle school, and I would have dominated in the 60 and 1. Easy, I would have dominated in the 60 and 1. Um, but I was gonna go there and run track because I ran track at CCP at the junior college I was at. So my freshman year in Millersville was interesting because I spoke to the coach via email, and when I got there, I couldn't play ball my first year. Couldn't play ball. I had to sit at the red shirt my whole first year there. Um, and my dad got locked up before I got to Millersville, like right before I left. Like January 3rd, he gets locked up. He ain't never been locked up in my life. And
Mm.
then he gets out like early February and gets sick. Ends up in the hospital. They cut off his toe and then they cut off half his foot because of gangrene. So this is all my first year at Millersville. Like this is all I leave for Millersville. You got to think about this. I go to Millersville January 27th or some shit like that, or 24th or something like that, right?
Hmm.
My dad's in the hospital in March.
Yeah.
The second week of March, my dad's in the hospital. Um, so there's a lot going on. But a lot of people don't even remember when I got there and realized I couldn't play ball in the first year. My dad's locked up. He's just getting out, and my dad's in the hospital. I put on weight. I had a little gut and all that. A lot of people don't even know that. Like, I was like, I put on a little bit because I was just sitting there. Like I was like depressed a little bit. But then I quickly got back to my shit. I had to remember to train and get myself ready to go play ball. Um, so it was hard because I saw my dad tube the hell up. Tubes all in him. And my first like my first week on campus, they thought I was an asshole, which I was. So I ain't even lying. They wasn't wrong. We had a hall meeting. They're
Hmm.
like, okay, these are the rules. I'm like, man, fuck y'all. I go right in my room and shut my door. like I'm kind of on some like not thinking I'm being an asshole, but kind of being an asshole, and I don't even know really. And, and I was just grieving. I was grieving a lot. And I actually had met a guy from MCM who said, "Yo, man, I think you should come check out MCM." I'm not really thinking about going to do nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in the I didn't come through PSSI like the other like I didn't come through there. So all the PSSI kids were in the other hall right next to me. I'm in Harbaugh Hall. I'm in C wing. They were in like B. They were in like B wing,
Hmm.
A or B wing. So we're right next to each other in different halls. So the hall I'm in is like 98% white guys. Who are asking me, do I rap? Do I know Meat Mills? And is that my real hair color? They couldn't all this shit, this stuff. They just couldn't believe. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, I can't be the only nigga up here. That's what I'm thinking. I can't be the only one. I know I'm the only one. And then I seen them later on the other side. Um, and then eventually things kind of started to mellow out. Um, things started to mellow out a little bit because I did like the campus. It felt safe. I wasn't like, I wasn't under a lot of pressure to kind of survive. I could just do what I need to do as a student. And long story short, my dad died December 12th that year. So my first day of finals of my second semester, he dies. But up until that, once he came out of the hospital, I was going to see him every weekend. I wasn't even on campus. I was like, man, fuck these girls up here. Everybody, I need to go home. So I would go see my dad almost every weekend. It was hard for me to come back sometimes. I didn't want to come back on that Monday. But I knew I had Dr. Garcia that Monday. So I was like, man, I got to go, I got to get back. So Millersville, my first year was just fun. It was fun. It was depressing, but it was fun because I was like away from home in a whole nother world where I got to meet new people. I got to see all these different kinds of women who I had not seen before. I'm from North Philly, so the women I'm seeing here don't exist in North Philly. Like you don't see them just moseying around. So I'm like, damn, So it was tough, but there was a part of it that was so fresh and so new to me that it made it better. If that makes sense, because losing your dad and watching your dad die, that's hard. This is what it is. But having all the freshness and newness of these experiences made it a little easier.
Mm. Now that's sorry to hear, but and also that wasn't a few days ago, the anniversary of that.
Yep, 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems to me that getting to MCM, getting to Millersville, Dwight kind of filled that role. So what
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Dwight has a great impact on many of our lives, but what would you like to share that helped you concerning Mr. Horsey, which I always thought we always kept calling him Dr. Horsey, um but Mr.
He,
Horsey.
he he's done enough he's done enough to where as though he should be a doctor. So I think he's done enough to be a doctor. So quote unquote. But for me, Dwight and Dr. Garcia kind of tag team and got me make sure I was straight. That makes sense.
Hmm.
But me and Garcia are very close, and me and Dwight are very close. And I needed both of them. I needed that. I needed what Dwight brought to the table in terms of like holding you accountable, but understanding where you are. Like Dwight being from, I think Dwight's from Baltimore. Dwight being from Baltimore, he understands hood niggas. He understands it because he is us,
Oh.
right? Like he understands us. It's like, bro, like I was you. I get it. You got a girl. She got a big ass. You're conflicted. I understand. Like, right? Like he understands that. He understands, bro. Don't play with me. I'll slap the shit out of you. He understood every side of me. Like, yo, like, Bear, I understand, but you can't beat everybody up. Like, so it was like
Mm-hmm.
So I having that, right? But the first conversation I had with Dwight, I almost cried because I walked into the office. I needed some money for books, and I was, at this point, I don't know all the cheat codes to get into use, but I don't know. There's a lot of cheat codes to this shit, but you don't know them. Like you don't know them. So I go in, I'm like, look, man, my sister, my brother, my dad just died. He's like, bro, but how are you feeling? And how are you feeling? I didn't know how you are because you got to care about you. And I'm like, me. I mean,
Yeah.
to this point, I've only been a number. I'm I'm as good as my performance. I'm as good at the chess game that I won or lost. I'm as good at the game, the catches. I'm as good at my performance. I wasn't used to people caring about just me as me. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a new thing for me. And so he said, look, man, just come check out MCM out. It's not a frat. It's not any of that. It's just a group of guys that want to graduate and want to do well in life. We give you guys resources, etc., etc. I've been locked in with that ever since. Right? MCM was my favorite part of the week. Like, it was like, yes. Like I'd be sad and I'm happy. Like I got MCM, like I get to meet with the boys. And so now it was rough though. MCM was much different in 2014 than it was in 20 what's that? In 2014 than it was in like 2017. It was much different. I came in with dudes. It was
Yeah.
we had some thugs in MCM. I ain't gonna lie. We had some dudes that you like. Damn, he might slap shit out you. So it was a little different vibe, but the love was the same. And so, um, but having Dwight like, I got in trouble a couple times, man. Dwight be like, Baron, what are you doing? Like, I got to one fight where I almost got kicked out. I had some dudes trying to come to the school to shoot me, and it was like he was like, Baron, what are you into? Like, what is going on? And the last time I remember Dwight having to really check me, and I was because I was wrong, but I was well intended. Was I was trying to get into grad school at Millersville, and they were kind of fucking me around a little bit,
Yeah.
giving me the runaround, and they weren't being straight with me. All I need you to be straight with me so I can have an answer, so I can figure it out. They weren't being straight with me. And so I tried to go to Dr. Wubai. I tried to talk to Dr. Wubai, whatever. So long story short, it got back to Dwight. And Dwight texted me and said, Baron, call me. I said, shit. When you say call me, when Dwight says call me, he said, Baron, look, you can't jump up the chain like that. You can't do that. There's a chain of command. You got to go step by step by step. So I followed his advice, did what I had to do. Eventually, I got into grad school, but having Dwight around like was one of the things that a lot of us needed because a lot of us don't have dads or active dads in MCM. A lot of us just didn't have that. Or for me, I needed strong male figures who were not intimidated by me, who were more than willing to put me in my place when I was wrong, who had things that I wanted to have: stability, car, family, health, etc. Like I needed those type of guys around me because as great as a father my dad was, and he was a great dad, my dad ain't never been healthy in his life. My dad, he ain't never been he in my lifetime. He had been in one relationship my whole life. My dad lived till he was 60. You know what I'm saying? And he had me when he was 39. So he had one relationship. He had a bunch of women he dealt with, but one relationship. So there's a lot of things he didn't show me, and Dwight was that person that showed me these various aspects and how to deal with pressure and how to deal with this white man who don't know he just disrespected you in four different ways. Who has no idea that if he was back in Northfield, you would have punched a hole in the spirit. He don't even know he just disrespected you. Dwight taught me how to navigate that space because that was hard. That
Mm-hmm.
was the most hardest shit in the world to be around some of these people who had no idea the culture that you understood, and they're like violating it, and you got to figure out how not to get kicked out of school. So Dwight was super important for me to do that. Super important for that.
Man, it's great to hear because Dwight also on for me on the opposite end was, I mean, recently I've been talking to Dwight because they're starting up MCM again, and he said that exact thing you mentioned, where sometimes people or staff needs to look at the student as a student or a human being instead of like the number that you were talking about. So I mean, he still talks about it to this day, and I remember being on the opposite side where I wasn't too wasn't a hood guy at all, but I just didn't understand why a lot of the black people at Millersville, especially BSU,
Oh yeah.
especially um, fraternities, black
Mhm.
fraternities specifically, always treated me differently or didn't like certain things that I do. Now I can understand being 29 years old, you know, retrospecting on someone who was 20, 21 years old, um, that there were probably things that I just didn't know, but um, the way that they always said that, you're always the stereotypical, like, you're not black enough, or you talk white, or you
Mhm.
don't understand this, or Dwight helped me kind of maneuver through, like, trying to understand why that was happening if we black people are supposed to be together. And then when he did explain it, trying to ask him, isn't that wrong? Why are they doing that? And just trying to give me a real sense of pride in being a leader, not a follower. But I wasn't really, I didn't feel like I was a leader to lead anything. I just kind of had to find my space, and MCM was that space. So he kind of looped that in there, and also he helped me with a lot of stuff too. And the fact that he's not there, he retired, and I'm very lucky that he was there during my time. It's just nowadays being there at Millersville. I mean, you were there kind of around the same time before you moved. There's not a lot of activity going on in Millersville. There's probably not a lot of interaction between
Yeah.
staff and students. So it sucks to see like who's gonna fulfill that role
Mhm.
that passionately. I don't know if the students of today are gonna have someone like that. I hope they do. Um, so it just I'm fortunate that he was there while I was going to school. I mean, I've only being at Millersville when they had the other president, President Anderson, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then going to Woo and I don't even really I don't really know much of him, but you saw a lot more staff is basically is what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
um a lot of the stuff that I did want to think, did you believe Dwight when he was talking about those stories? Those
Yeah, yeah,
especially the fighting ones. The fighting ones. You
yeah.
talking about taking karate and stuff.
I believe them because I started having my own story that sounds ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I had my own stories that sounded
And I said,
ridiculous.
hold up. I said, this shit don't even sound real, but this is what happened. So when I started to hear my own, he said, look, y'all, I know y'all laughing at my stories, but y'all might have your own stories. He was so fucking right because the stories I started to have didn't make sense.
What's an example?
I said, oh man, shit, I just talked about the people that wanted to shoot me at Millersville.
Oh,
So
yeah,
like that was like okay. So I was dating this girl who had a. We're gonna be blunt. We on this joint.
yeah. It's okay. You can say
She,
anything.
she was. She was. My ex girlfriend was about 5'2", light skin, had long hair, full lips. She had a little gut on her, little stomach on her, but she had a big ass butt. Big
Okay.
like I'm talking like big jaw. Like she was just curvy. She was just naturally very hippie. Not like she was just very naturally curvy. She was cute. So I'm with her, and I had no business being with her. She was a whore. Like she was eating whatever dick she wanted to eat. That's what it was, right? I'm calling it like it is. So, long story short, her goofy ass sends me a text message and sends someone else a text message at the same time.
Oh, okay.
She sends us a picture of her in like these cut up like shorts.
Okay.
And I'm looking like, and her goofy ass did not know that I would see the text message, that it went to someone else. We all, it's like she pretty much made a group text. So I see that and I'm like, yo, who's this? Oh, it's my cousin. Like, what? So now I start going off a little bit. And then the other person that's on the other joint, like, yeah, my cousin. Why you acting like that? And then all of a sudden, whoever it was on the other side, like, okay, yeah, I'm a guy, but like, whatever. I'm like, huh? And then the dude said, this is all via text. I didn't fuck her yet. I don't know why you mad. I'm sorry, man. Where your address at? Where you at, bro? Where you at? I ain't about to do all of this. Now, mind you, as this is happening, right, there is a woman at Millersville at this time
Hmm.
who was very interested in me, who was also, but this one was 5 feet, right? Same ass as my current girlfriend. No stomach. In shape. No stomach. Takes care of herself and all that. I'm dealing with this hood booger who's cheating. And I'm kind of like not sure if I want to pursue this other one who's not a cheater, not a whore, none of that. This is how special my brain was at this time.
Hmm.
This is a special brain right here, right? Equally as cute, probably a little more cute. This is me being stupid. I should have just let her, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and the crazy part is her grandmother is driving me to Millersville the next day. This is a
Wow.
Sunday or Saturday. I'm going to Millersville the next day. Her grandmother is driving us to Millersville the next day. So somehow, some way, the conversation ended that night. I don't get to go see dude or catch him or whatever. We get up to Millersville. I'm like, so what was up with that? She said, yeah, well, it was a guy. I'm sorry. I said it was a guy. Somehow, some way, I didn't think it was a guy. Somehow, some way, I convinced myself it wasn't a guy. I text him, I'm gonna kill you. So I'm gonna kill you, bitch, or some shit like that. He responded like, what I do? Now his brothers is texting my phone, so on and so forth. I'm like, fuck you, shut up. I'm gonna kill you too. I'm on some old bullshit. I'm on
Oh
some old bull.
man.
And it's all stuff for me dating a whore. Now this would happen if I wasn't dating a whore. But if you go a step beneath that, my dad had just died. This girl just had an abortion. I'm struggling. I'm struggling at this time. I didn't want to be around. I know the rules to the streets. If I come to your block looking for you, you're supposed to kill me. I'm not supposed to make it out of here. It was three of them. It was him and two brothers. All these motherfuckers like 6'4" and taller. I didn't care. I knew I was taking one of them with me. That was my only mission. And this sounds stupid because I don't have to do this. I don't gotta be with this woman. I don't need to be talking to these dudes. Why is this happening? Long story short, word gets to Millersville. I'm on some crash out shit. Ryan Friedman come up. Yo, man, whatever you got going on, man, kill it. I said, what you talking? I'm playing dumb. What you talking about? He said, come on, man. I said, Hayes don't know nothing's going on. I didn't plan on telling. I planned on going to Philly Friday and dying. That was my whole mission. I'm going to
Wow.
die. I don't want to be around. My dad's gone. I'm dealing with this. Like, I don't want to be around. So I tell Hayes said, bro, what the fuck? What are you doing? Right? And the white catches it and he checks me on it. And long story short, once it got to Millersville, like that something was gonna happen, I'm good. Because now it's too much heat, it's too many eyes on it. I just want to get this shit over with. Um, but nothing about that story makes sense. Nothing. I'm dealing with a woman that's a whore. I have no reason to be doing that. Never been an ugly dude. Always been in shape. Always been. I have no reason to do that. I have no reason to deal with this woman who is obviously cheating at every turn she gets a chance. No reason. I obviously had options of very attractive women on campus who are very into me. And I'm trying to hold on to this hood shit. So nothing about this story makes sense. So I'm like, damn, if I tell it, I sound like a cold dickhead. So I'm listening to Dwight like, no, I believe him. Because he ain't got no reason to make up all these stories. And you know, the more you live life, the more stories you're going to have. And they're not going to make sense all the time. You're like, yo, I can't believe this just happened. That's life. So I believe the stories, man. I believe them because there's so many stories of which I've been involved in that don't sound right at all. It's like,
Yeah. I have mine. Mine is not. I don't think I have anything like that because that's like a dangerous one. I mean, besides the one with Mims, but
yeah, yeah.
that one was just that was a matter of I don't know if it was just built up aggression. But I will say, without saying their name, being having someone that you met in the MCM group pass go or give permission to you to smash their girl that they ended up marrying anyway and still
Yeah,
being
that was
friends.
crazy.
And you know who I'm talking about. So
That was crazy. That was
we
crazy.
don't have to mention
Hey,
any names.
hey, whoever seen it, I turned it down. I emphatically I turned that down several times. I
Oh,
never took it. I
he
didn't
came
want
up to
it.
you.
Um,
I'm sure he came up to any other person.
no, he personally did not offer. Her, he personally didn't do that to me. She kept pulling up on me. I said, I'm good. I'm straight. I am good. I don't want nothing over it. I don't want nothing. Nothing at all. And
Just,
so I made it my business to say, absolutely not. I'm good. I am not tempted. I am not excited. There's no curiosity. I'm good. I am so good on this. I'm gooder than good. That's how good I am. Like, I'm gooder
you're
than
the
good. And
greatest. I'm
she was pulling up. She was consistent to it. No, I'm good.
gonna say no.
That was a
There.
hard no.
I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna do this and say I'm gonna say no. That's all. So let's see what else do I have here. Let's talk about the music. Let's start in the beginning. Infamous picture with you and your curly hair. The Corbin blue. And the headphones. Let's talk about that. How? First off, I mean, if your song is correct, you started rapping at the age of 9. Were you 9 years
Yes.
old, and what do you remember about that specific photo?
I'm trying to think about that boy with the long hair, right? With the
Yeah,
curly
long
long hair.
hair, no shirt.
Yeah, I'm about to get my hair braided. I'm about to get my hair braided, and I think my stepmom took that picture. If I'm not mistaken, I'm about to get my hair braided. She got that picture of me. I kind of wish we could have got my face because I had no color, like no color at all. But it's a dope ass picture. Just glad that we still have that. But yeah, the music journey started way back then. Um, believe it or not, the music journey started back then, but you are part of the reason why I picked the pen up
Oh
and said, I'm
goodness.
gonna do this. I'm gonna really push for it now. You're part of that because I saw what you were doing with all the artists and the cipher. I'm gonna be real. A lot of them rappers is ass that
Okay,
was on the ciphers. Not all of them, but some of them like yo. And ass in the sense of like
we know
you
who.
could no, not even. Oh no, the one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take this back. A lot of them aren't ass. You can tell a lot of them were just starting, but one of them was pure ass. Um, what's his name? Mama, whatever his name is.
Oh, that
He,
I think his rap name is. Mm,
he was Dookie.
yeah, I
Whatever his
remember
name
his.
is.
I don't want to say his real name, but
Yeah, yeah. He was ass. He was ass. But a lot of them you could see was just starting. Like you could see they were just kind of getting their feet wet with it. And I'm like, yo, I really do this. I've been doing this for a while. Let me see if I can give myself a shot. And it was watching you develop that and create that space for them to get on. And that's when I saw Tommy for the first time. I think was JP one of the guys.
it was so the first one that you. I mean, if you're talking about that specific class,
Yeah.
it was the Bad Boy Pistons. So it was Tommy JP J Walt. Then
Yep. Yep. Yep.
it
They were
was
there.
Acids, Después,
Yep. He
Rizzo,
was nice.
Money Made. Juice showed up. He wasn't supposed to be in part of it, but I let him be a part of it because we needed people. And then the dude you're talking about.
Yep. That was a pretty stacked class, honestly. A pretty stacked class. But not when I saw you putting that together, and again I could tell that some of them were very new. They were just starting to rap maybe a year ago or something like that. And so that really inspired me to really put my foot back in there and say, well, fuck it, let me go ahead and really do it now because I stopped making music when I got to Millersville. Not completely, but because I didn't think that you could play football and do music. I didn't think that a coach would want his athlete doing music. So that's why I kind of put it on the back burner. But yeah, my music journey started at 9 years old. Like listening to DMX, whatever my dad played in the house, and learning their cadences. And then when I seen this little light skinned dude from Atlanta with his head on his head awkwardly, I was like, huh, he don't look like 50 Cent. He don't look like 50 Cent. He don't look like the rappers that, because I didn't know I could actually be a rapper. Because I didn't look like none of the rappers. And my story wasn't like none of theirs either. Right? Like I wasn't pitching crack. I'm like fucking 10 years old. How am I pitching crack at 10? Like
maybe like pop rocks or something, but
yeah, like, so but and although T.I.'s album I heard, the first album heard from him was all about drug selling, but I heard and it was, this is my story. Now share yours. So I had a story even then. And yeah, I was writing. I started writing like poetry. I started writing little books. I wrote a book about my cat. Her name was Scott. I wrote a book about her. I was always writing, and then I was making music at the same time, and and I started building up a little. I started building up a little buzz. Started building up a little steam. By the time I was 17 years old, I started building up a little buzz and steam. I did some chick at my school. I did the whole group at my school. She was in the group. I said she had chlamydia. She didn't like that.
damn.
And I didn't give a fuck. But I mean, so like I started building up a little steam, and when I started building up the steam, I was like, oh yeah, I can kind of do something with this. But by the time I got there, I'm on my way to college, and if I could do anything different, I would have never stopped. I'd have never stopped, but today, I've been able to like really kind of build up a little base. And shout out to our brother John. John was like, "Yo, Baron, like you have an audience. Like you got people that like they're checking for you now. Like I know you don't have what you want to have in terms of notoriety or money or whatever, but there are people who say, damn, when that next freestyle come, when that next EP coming," and I'm like, and even though it's not 1,000 people asking for it, if it's only 5 people asking for it, let me serve that 5. Let me give that 5 what they're asking for. And so that's my mentality now, and that's probably why I'm starting to see some of the success I'm seeing, is because I said, well, yeah, who doesn't want 100,000 people to pay to buy merch and stream? But if you got 5 that are doing it, and I'm exaggerating, I have more than 5. But if you got 5, go serve that 5, or find out what that 5 want from you and go serve them.
Right. Jack Jackson Jr. currently at this time has 3.3 thousand subscribers on his YouTube channel. So clearly, that I would say that's 100 times more than 5. So music is definitely my repertoire. Now at the time, rap was definitely, not as not on my level as it is now somewhat. And it's funny you say that I had a little part to do with that, and I was so glad that you clarified it was the ciphers that I would do, not my brief rap career that we will never speak of again. Even though I think there are 2 songs I am proud of. Well, 3. The one that we did, but that was a feature. But 2 songs that I did that I was genuinely proud of and I could still listen to. But everything else, whatever. So, but I am interested because I have answers for me in terms of, my musical influences. But why was T.I. the guy for you, even though, I mean, I know you briefly touched on it, but, um, you know, this is like early 2000s. So there's, if, I'm just going to go off of my age. I can't really say that I listened to them, but I know there was people like, Hurricane Chris, there was, Soldier Boy, Manny Fresh. There's a lot of people out there. That's this. It's a lot of people. That's the only people I know. But
The early 2000s that he named, man. He said Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy popped off and like Soldier Boy popped off damn near by like
2005.
it was like 5, 6, 7, like somewhere around there.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of people. I mean, I know there's Jay-Z and Nas and stuff,
yeah.
but I was trying to go off of the limited knowledge that I had. But why was Ti out of all those people in the early 2000s with the baggy
Mhm.
jeans? They had the Mystical. That was another one. Mystical.
He was. He was.
Um,
He
why
was.
was Ti the guy?
Because I don't. The thing with me, and it became very apparent, I didn't look like nobody around me. I don't look like nobody around me. So it made me feel isolated and alienated in a sense. And when you thought about hip hop in the early 2000s, you thought about 50 Cent, you thought about New York, you thought about Nas, you thought about like a certain look. And then when I saw T.I., he didn't have that look. Like, not to say he wasn't intimidating in his own right, because he is a 7-time convicted felon. You don't get that being a upstanding, nice guy in the gym. Um, but he isn't 6 feet and 220 something. T.I.'s every bit of like 5'8", 150, right? So his appearance intrigued me, and the energy that came along with it intrigued me because it's like, yeah, He would always say, I'm a little dude, but I handle my business. I needed that mentality. I was never gonna be tall. I knew that off the rip. My doctor lied to me. You can be 6 feet. No, you're a liar. You should be fired. I already knew that wasn't gonna happen. So he didn't look like the other artists that I was around. That I would see on TV a bunch. But his confidence stuck out so much.
Okay.
The confidence, the fact that he walked around like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that stuck out. And then when I heard trap music, he's telling these stories. I'm around nothing but drug dealers in my neighborhood, bro. It's nothing but drug dealers. He's telling me their story. Like, yo, I'm not a criminal. I'm just trying to make some money, right? I dropped out of high school. I didn't even got too many options. Ah, so you mean you don't want to rob me? You don't want to rob that lady? No, I'm robbing. I'm trying to make some money, and I don't want you to do what I'm doing either. Ah, okay. So Ti, his story it illustrated the story of guys around me. So I was just a kid that would just observe. And it inspired me to say, okay, here's my story. This is what I like. This is what I want. You know what I'm saying? And Eminem did the same thing. They both had the same type of thing. Slightly different in the fact that Eminem is white, and the fact that like Eminem talked about um, more like suicidal thoughts and things of that nature. Like he got more in
Yeah.
that space. But they both had this underdog mentality, and they both had this confidence about them and say, yo, but I'm that. What is you talking about? I'm that. And I could identify with their underdog mentality in the sense of you don't think I belong because I don't look like I belong to you. Now let me show you I belong. Let me show you I'm probably better than you too. I could relate to that. And so when I was able to kind of and learn that and get into that, and when I heard this, he has a song in there called. There's a couple songs that really stick out on that first album I heard from trap music. One of them is Ti versus Tip,
Yeah.
where um, because in that song he talks about like, he's kind of talking with himself. Because one of the fun facts about Ti is that on the record label, Q-Tip was on that label, and Ti's name is actually Tip. That's his like what they call him. But he had changed the name to Ti. So Ti is like the one that had to kind of learn how to adjust in the industry. Tip is who he is like in real life in the streets and all that. And watching them kind of battle on there, that's why you guys see me. If you ever look at my channel, you'll see me do the BJ, Jack, and Baron. That
Okay.
stems from me watching him kind of do that because the BJ is who I was to my family growing up. That's why you see him when in the skit, you'll see BJ playing a Game Boy or some shit like, because that's who I
Oh,
was.
I see. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Very innocent chop. Like I'm playing the Game Boy. I might say like little snarky shit here and there, but that was me. Baron is the educated one, the one in school, with all the degrees, the common sense one. Like that don't even make no type of sense. Jack is the combination of those two together. Right? He is the one that kind of protects it. That's why he's the artist. He creates and tells the story for those two. And I kind of got that here in Ti versus Tip way back then. And it's just crazy how, like, when you look at it now, how some of those older artists influences. Now, T.I.'s like 45 now. He's not old, but it's like how their stories influence and help us create our own stories. And, so for me, T.I.'s going to always be my favorite rapper of all time. I don't think he's the best rapper ever, but he's 100% my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah. And I like that you mention the two monikers because there's a lot of times some I forget a lot some artists who have those get the distinct pleasure to like make music from those two point of views where like okay let's say which it's only a matter of time before you do this again. But you have the hood side where they're like, "Oh man, you think you're better than us," and then you have the like, "Wait, no, wait, you this could be you," and they're just rapping to each other. But after all that, what made you want to get into rap, or what made you want to get into music then versus now? Because there has been a shift, a major shift from when I believe I would assume from when you started from 9 to 17, and then you
Mm-hmm.
revitalized it towards the college day, the later of your college days.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say made you want to start it then, and then made you want to start it now, even though the evolution of your yourself is still kind of similar.
Yeah. Um, Direct to consumer. Um, I can record right here in my house and put it out there. Like, there's no, I don't need a label now. We got distribution, so it's kind of all on you and your hustle and how much you want to hustle. Like, as soon as we get done here, I'm cutting up some shit and uploading it to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's all about direct to consumer. That's one. Two, I also feel like being a good rapper lacks in today's game. Like, I think the bar of what a good rapper is, we're talking strictly lyricism, is lower. It's a lower bar because there's so many rappers now, so many artists now. You don't got to prioritize lyricism. I see it all the time. Rappers aren't prioritizing that. They're just doing what they want to do, and that's great. That's phenomenal. But it makes it easier for a guy like me to kind of come in and submit himself because it's not back when I was watching it as a kid. It was you kind of wanted to have a pen. If you didn't have a pen, you was like, man, maybe it won't. Now it's like, bro, just be confident with the fuck you making. You can go in the song and say gaga goo goo split split splash, and if you say it the right way, a motherfucker gonna play it. I just heard a song with I'm not even gonna say his name. I just heard a song with a rapper moaned for 15 seconds. He said no words. He just moaned.
I'm gonna need to know what this is.
And I'm like, this worked. And I look at the view count, 1.7 million views. That's it. So today is less about do you fit this archetype? It's more about less if you fit an archetype, opposed to can you just put out this content? Can you put out this music? Can you be consistent? And you don't need a label today. Like back then, you needed a label. You really, if only a few people were getting off independently. Like
Mhm.
who was it? Independently. Tech Nine back then he was always independent. He was always killing the game independently. But Master P, Birdman, Nipsey more recently. But back then it was very few people that could get it off independently. Now that's almost the mantra. I'm independent. So although it's a very different game, it's one of those things that I like that today is more opportunity to just be you.
Mhm.
If I can get 3,000 followers, 3,000 subs on YouTube, I can get 10,000 subs on YouTube. However, I got the three, but you're gonna triple that up, double that up, whatever, and we're gonna get to 10. And I'm gonna do the same thing, get to 20 and 30 and 40. And so I just like that today. There's a little more freedom. Um, you know, the only thing that sucks today is a lot of smoke and mirrors. And I think when me and you, when we start talking about music a lot, I think we talked about that a good bit. Like you're like, yo, prepare, look at this. I'm like, bro, that's not what you think it is. Like that's not it. And then I would explain how it's kind of curated to look away. Like if I wanted to look like I got a bunch of views, I can go pay and bot that shit up. I can go pay for 30,000 subs and
Yeah.
a million views on song. I can go pay and make it look like that, but it ain't that. And if you know how to look for it, you'll be able to like, oh, it's not that, right? There's a lot of smoke and mirrors today, and even I can get caught up in that. I get caught up in the fact that like some woman rapper just made a song where she said two words and shook her ass, 100,000 views, and I'm like, damn. Like, but it's okay because she found out what works for her. She has her audience. I might not be her audience, and that's fine. And I
Right.
think that rappers, especially older rappers than me, rappers in like their late 30s, even
Yeah.
my age. Some of us are like bitter as fuck. Like I'm still fairly young. I'm in my early 30s. But rappers like in they late 30s, they be bitter as a bitch. They be, oh my god, I hate this shit. Like, man, just gonna make a song and shut the fuck up. Like, fuck this shit. That's how I be feeling. Man, go make a song, shut your bitch asses. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Man, this is a just an off topic question. Did you ever see yourself joining the military like your father?
no. My dad told me very early. My dad told me very early. Um, I did that so y'all don't have to.
Mm.
And and I was actually, despite how structured I am with stuff I do, and even from a physical standpoint, a lot of people thought I would. But I think if you take a step closer to who I am, you realize, nah, I don't want to be ran by nobody. And
Pause.
so if you pause, I don't want to be ran by. I don't want to be under anyone's watch all the time and having to lead my family. Whatever. Like I don't. I'm good. I'm good on all that. Um, my brother, like I always compare y'all because y'all both do this. Y'all both have historically always
Oh
done it.
man.
And,
Let's hear it.
and you brought it up. I gotta
Yeah,
say
I
it.
know. It's
My dad, my
let's
dad
hear it.
told he told both of us to. He said, "Yo, do not join the military." He told us both this. This was what he told both of us. It's not a lie. Say, "Yo, don't join the military." Blah 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 blah. My brother is the one who you can tell to not do whatever you tell him not to do.
Do
He
it.
is likely going to do. Hey man, I'm gonna do that, bro. They shooting everybody on that block. All right, he'll go get shot and call you to come get him. And you be sitting like, bro, I told you, why are you here? And but fortunately for my brother, it's worked out for him, at least from what I know. But
Hmm.
no, I never really had a desire to go to the military.
I see. Well, now that that's good, yeah, I never wanted to join the military. My mom is, my mom, my uncles, my grandfather.
Which branch did your mom join?
She was in the Navy.
Okay.
My grandfather, I don't know which. I think my uncle is a Marine, or no,
Mm.
my mom and my uncle are both Navy. My grandfather was he went to Vietnam, so I think that's a guess soldier, whatever.
Yeah, my dad was a Marine in Vietnam, and so it took me a long time to realize that my dad was a killer. That blew my mind. I said, "Oh, you kill people?" Yeah, yeah. Oh, so
Yeah,
you
my
basically Rambo.
yeah, my grandfather was a he got to do stuff, but he wasn't like taking bodies. He was like at first from because of his death certificate, he was like the mechanic like for the guns and
Mhm.
stuff. And
Yep.
then they stationed him out in what the heck country? Uh Cambodia.
Hmm.
And then he, did whatever he did over there. I don't know if he killed anybody. I'm sure he did, but and then he came back in like 1971,
Hmm.
and then my mother was born. So yeah, but we didn't have any desire. My mom wanted us to, but I did not want to go. I did not want to do any of that.
It's a hell of a commitment. It's a hell of a commitment, and it's again shout out to everyone that did it, that's done it, that's going to do it. I'm not in that list.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not in that list, and that's I'm not in that list. I'm good off all of that. Um, Shout out to everybody. I'm good on all that, but
yeah.
it's just I'm good.
Like if I
It's
was in a certain part, then maybe, but you still have to do the training. Like my both of my sisters on my dad's side, they did it. Shout out to Kara,
mhm.
shout out to Amber Lou, but they're not going to war. Like they're not about to sit and shoot a gun, but they probably learned how. They just I'm not about to do it. But so touching back onto the music, I'm pretty sure you saw that Michael documentary. You're gonna go? Do you? I'm sure you're gonna go see it. But the real question is, would you want to see a rapper biopic, and what rapper would that be?
A rapper biopic. Honestly, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be honest. Um,
Interesting.
not that I don't, not that like I wouldn't watch it if it exists. Like I don't have a rapper where I'm like, yeah, let me hear it, because like I was such a fan of Ti growing up. There's a lot that I know. I'm sure there's plenty I don't know,
Yeah.
but nothing. I'm like, yeah, make it buy, make one for him. It's like you know, I if anything, I like to meet him one day and talk and just ask him questions. Um, I would prefer that over getting
A
like
movie.
a movie, so to speak. Um, but I think those are great, man. The only thing is, I feel like it'd be too many egos involved, and and people be like fucking up the stories. And these rappers, a lot of these artists don't be alive when the biopics are made. They're gone. So if they're gone, you don't get you get a variation of the story, but you don't get really the story. Um, and I feel like a lot of stuff gets missed or misconstrued, or like I'll give you an example of some shit that got misconstrued.
Hmm.
Me and my brother's birthdays are a year and 4 days apart. So I'm September 6th, he's September 10th. So people, my dad used to celebrate our birthdays on Labor Day together
Hmm.
because our birthdays just happened to fall in September, where school is starting and all this shit is starting. So you got to buy uniforms, you got birthdays all at one time. So he would have it on Labor Day. Dudes in our neighborhood thought we were twins,
Oh, I see.
right? And like they were convinced that we were twins. We like my twin. That's my brother. We twins. We're a year apart. But if you're from a certain distance, you wouldn't know that. If I never said that to you, you just watch it from afar. You think we're twins. You see our birthday being celebrated the same day, right?
Makes
So
sense. Yeah.
so when I be seeing like some of these movies about artists that are especially ones that have passed on, I'm like, how much of this is actually what they say? How much of this has been misconstrued? Right? Because I'm sure you've said something, D, and you've been misconstrued, and you're like, damn, that's not what I meant at all. And so imagine if you say that and then you die, and that's the story they put out there. You're gonna be mad as shit,
I'm
looking
gonna
down
be
like,
like,
why the fuck you?
why did?
That ain't what I meant. So that's why like I'd rather just go directly to the source and be like, yo, man, what like what's the game? What's the story? What's the
Yeah, tell me
because like
about how
sometimes
how you got it with freaking the girl from Escape. That's what I want to see. I would love to see that.
so I have been tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's crazy because I didn't know that she was in Escape until much later.
and I didn't know Ti, so we have that little connection there. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I was
I
very into R&B, cause like you, just like your dad played all those stuff. My mom, she would play
yep.
that, and we would move by car, so that's all we listened to. And 90s R&B. You know what I'm saying? You listen to Escape. I didn't know she was with freaking Ti.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because and I forgot where I heard it, but T.I. said he said my girl was a millionaire before I was.
Yeah, they had
Right?
like they had two or three number one hit records.
Yep. He was like my girl's a millionaire first. I wasn't a millionaire first. He said now I got what I got. He said, but before, nah, man, I struggled. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool seeing that and hearing that side of it. So like I said, getting the backstories are awesome. See, I'd rather get it in a YouTube doc. You know what I'm saying? Like with the artist as the lead, telling the stories. I'd rather get that than like because I feel like especially with Michael. Michael is
Yeah,
huge. Michael is huge, bro. Like he could never go grocery shopping. Like I know people that fucked up that story some ways. I know they did. I know someone came in and said, "No, this is what happened." I know they did.
it was on camera and they still messed it up.
Yeah, like
He
I
had to
know.
purchase the grocery store, rent it out just so he could shop or pretend to shop. He hired people to be like, "Oh, I'm looking at some green beans. Oh, sir, do you know? Oh, you don't work here." And then it's Michael. They have to pretend it's not Michael Jackson. But, Yeah, I think I agree with that. I would rather meet the person. I mean, we try to grab on whatever we can, and we'll never truly know unless we meet them. But for the people that are dead, it's kind of like, and their families don't really do them justice because if it's not really the one you want to speak to, and if they're not close, and then
Yep.
I don't know if that's really his kids, but they don't look too swag to me. I'm not getting any information out of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think in terms of people who are still alive, I think meeting them would be a better substitute. But if that's the case, I'm sure. I don't know. You mentioned it before, but how bad of a child were you? I know how bad you were in school. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to get people up, but being a child, how bad would you say you were?
I actually wasn't a bad child. I was actually like I was a straight A student for the most part in school. I got into a couple fights here and there in school, but I wasn't a bad child. I was a pretty the the misconception about it was my temperament will make me come off as a bad child. I wasn't a
Okay.
bad child. See what happened with it was is and my brother wouldn't mind me saying this, but it's my stories. I'll say it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There was such a big gap in the way me and him were raised and taught things that it invoked the jealousy. So I'll give you as an example. A Saturday morning, I'm 10, he's 9 years old. We wake up. No, I wake up because he ain't gonna get up until about 2 in the afternoon anyway. I'm gonna wake up at about 8 o'clock. My dad gonna say, BJ, clean the bathroom, the kitchen, and your room, and I'm gonna take care of the living room. Well, Dad, just what's Meme gonna do? Don't worry about it. Okay. Meme gonna get up at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Everything gonna be clean. His food gonna be waiting for him. And so as that's happening, I'm starting to invoke some type of jealousy. Also, my dad disciplined me much differently. Is that my mom?
Yeah.
What's up, mom? Thank you, mom.
Shout outs to mom.
Yeah. And so it was a much different type of way that he disciplined us. We seen that as well. So that invoked like some rage, some jealousy on my behalf. Um, but I was fairly a good kid. I cleaned up, did chores, got straight A's, did very well. I was like that was honestly me I say 90% of it. The other 10 was me kind of rebelling like, why are we both getting awarded and I got the honor? Like, it would be stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like were both getting awarded the same thing and I got on the roll. And so it would be more or less that. And the older we got, the more my dad started to see that, because my dad was real protective of my younger brother. He started to see that, damn, I kind of did this the wrong way. Like I can be protective, but I gotta give him some responsibility, and I gotta be there more for BJ as well because I got BJ being super independent, whereas though BJ don't know how to ask for help now. I'm teaching him to be super ultra independent. So it was more or less that. So the temper developed through those things. But I wasn't necessarily a bad kid. I would say I was 90% a good kid, and that other 10, when I was bad though, I was bad. When I was like off, it was way off. It wasn't a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was like way off. So it was so drastic. I'm saying I think the swings are so drastic that it could come up that way. But I was a fairly good kid.
Oh shoot. I mean, well, I'm glad I was that medium. I mean, I don't know if my mom's home yet, but
Yeah.
I was pretty good. I knew that I knew more. I mean, I don't even know if my brother and sister will watch, but I knew more things because I was good than my brother and my sister would know because they did stuff. You know what I'm saying? They would
Mhm.
sneak people in the house and they kind of lost trust. I mean, I would see them obviously and I'd be like, damn, I can't really stop this person from.
Where do you fall at in order? Are you
I'm in
middle?
the middle. I'm in the middle.
Okay.
So my brother he was the first one to have children.
Okay.
Well, they both have children, but he was the first one. And I'm
Mhm.
the only one that doesn't. But
Mhm.
there, I mean, he was older, so he found better ways to get away with it. So he would go to their house. My sister, you know, guess she
Yeah.
brought people to our house, and I remember the one dude, because he looked like Travis McCoy. Throwback to all those other people who don't know who he is,
Yeah.
but he looked like Travis McCoy. I had a Kindle stick, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy! I can't stop this guy because he's bigger than me. Um, so I had to use the Kindle stick. I thought I was Sandman, but just it was I wasn't stopping him from seconds away of busting down my sister. So I had to go downstairs, play the Wii. It was terrible, man, because you just it's like you can't. What are you gonna do?
So
But
it's a round of applause upstairs, and you down there playing with the nunchucks.
yeah, I'm just damn.
The Wii is goaded though. The Wii is goaded.
It
I love
is.
the Wii.
I still
I
have it.
love the Wii.
The
I love the Wii. I love was Brawl on the Wii?
Brawl was on the Wii. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Brawl is my favorite Smash Brothers game. I might be like corny for that, but that's my
No, I
favorite.
think that's legitimate because it had the best casual experience. If I played that game competitively, I would have hated it. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I played it with items. You know what I'm saying? I played it with CPUs to level
Yep.
7. I never went to level 9. I played sideways, Wii remote. I did the
Mhm.
story. Like my
It was
favorite.
Meta Knight was broken. He was broken on that. He was broken.
I had no
He was
idea he was
broken like
broken.
shit. Yeah, he was broken like shit in that one. I remember that vividly. He was broken like shit. I'll never forget that. People hated that fucking metal Kirby. That's all he was to me was a Kirby with armor on. They hated him. Like, and then like certain on like those tournaments when they had it competitively, you
Yeah,
couldn't play as meta. And so I remember that era. That was like when did that come out?
I was like so Brawl at its peak, 2009, 2010.
Yeah, because I was a teenager, so I'm like, yeah, I definitely remember playing Brawl because my boy Corey he played with Ike. He didn't play Ike. He played with who's the fairy dude?
The fairy dude.
He got the wings.
Oh, Pit.
He played with Pit. I played with Sam. I was playing with Samus when she had the suit, so I feel justified in using the very goaded version of Samus. My brother played with Marth. Josh didn't really play at all, but I think he played one time with like Luigi or some shit like that and beat everybody. I don't know what the fuck was going on that day. He beat all of us. I'm trying to remember who else played. Jake played with Snake.
Damn.
Trey played with Snake. And he was good with him too. It was weird. He was good with him. Yeah, your Brawl was. I'm like, your Brawl is
He had
goaded.
all the
Brawl
guns.
is goaded.
Man,
Yeah, Brawl is goaded.
um, I played with Ike. I played with Mario, and I thought Marth was a girl because in the design he had like a tiara or whatever, and I thought
Yeah.
Marth was short for Martha. So I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? He speaks Japanese, or this person speaks Japanese. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can understand. It's probably how you say it in Japan. Like Martha is
Yeah.
Marth.
How much of a difference is Martha from Martha? That's one
I
name.
did, bro.
And you
I
know me that
was,
they got so lazy. They said, you know what? We're gonna hold the A.
oh,
Give me the whole name.
because
We'll just
I
hold
thought
the A.
because I thought it was for American audience to be like, oh, we don't, because this is a game I never heard of. I never heard of no Fire Emblem. So I'm like, oh, it's probably a different name in Japan. And then
Yep.
they just made it up. Now, Sonic, I use Sonic too because I was like, bro, they put Sonic and Mario like they're supposed to be rivals. So those are my characters. But I never knew. I also, this was a game that I found out Samus was a girl because,
Me too. Me too. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And now look, I said that. I'm like, your suit is shaped like a
yeah,
woman.
it
As
is.
soon as I got that, you are. I'm kind of mad now because I didn't want my main character to be no wrestler, man.
The trailer made sense because she got out of it, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you could do that. And I wasn't even into Samus like that, but I remember seeing like, oh, Sam. I'm thinking again, Samus. Oh, okay, so you Sam, and but bro, their game. I had lots of hours in that game, lots of hours, and the Wii was goated for me because not even just Brawl, but my mom would play games with me. She played cooking games. She loved the cooking games on there. Food Network Star. flip the butter up the pan and chop the whatever.
Well, see, and that's the thing I think that like parents don't be knowing. When you play a game with the kids, it's over. That's gonna be one of our favorite systems of all time.
Yeah, that makes a
Like, cause
difference.
me and my mom played the Oculus together. I was getting motion sick though. She was on it with her homeboy. They're like, damn, young buck can't keep up with us. I'm like, this shit make me sick. My stomach's starting to hurt. And then the particular game was like a lot of motions. It was a lot of motions. And my dad played the 64 with me. He would play Castlevania with us and all that. And so those are systems that have very prominent places in my heart because the memories are like so pure. They're so fucking pure, bro. And you don't get those. You can't manufacture those.
No.
Yeah, man. Me and my boy Rick was talking about house co-op and how goaded playing like Here Comes the Pain and SmackDown versus Raw '07.
Man.
And like we was like, yo, if you were born after '05, you have no idea how great of an experience this is. Like you had to be born in '02 or earlier to know what it was like to play couch co-op with your boys. Because you after '05, because if you were born in '05, that means you were 5 in 2010. That means your childhood really started in the tens. So you didn't. So couch co-op wasn't a thing at that. It was like phasing out.
Yeah.
Man,
And you
no.
already had online too. Like we Brawl
Yep.
had online, but that wasn't like the cornucopia. I thought it was cool to play someone I didn't know, and I didn't have Call of Duty. But when you're talking about playing SmackDown versus Raw, and you had to decide who was gonna be John Cena, and also buying battery packs because don't let that controller fault like die on you because they're not gonna wait for you to get
No.
up.
No, you
Um,
getting your ass whooped. Yeah, I was playing Madden online, and man walked in the room. I was playing, and I paused the game to do something. And whoever I was playing online said, "Unpause the game, bitch." I said, "Hold up, I'm fucking." Now I have to sit up. And man had saw it, he bust out laughing. So it's like the experience of like online was dope, but that couch co-op when you went in here, y'all got a pepperoni pizza,
oh
y'all
yeah,
got a Mountain Dew soda.
you got food
I got
everywhere.
some wings, and then I got some junk food. And you stayed out your parents' way because they knew, all right, the boys in there playing the game with their friends, and your parents is watching whatever they're watching, drinking if they want, whatever they doing, y'all doing, and everyone's happy. Like that was like, and that's why like now, even today when we kick it, we get a chance to play Here Comes the Pain or SmackDown versus Raw or whatever, we gonna rock out. Hey man, get the chairs, and we having a good old fucking time. And I think that children, like kids today, will never have that. Like we get to enjoy what they enjoy. That's why I feel bad for them. I get to enjoy online play. I get to enjoy everything that you enjoy. But you can never go back to early 2000s like that. You
Mm-mm.
can never enjoy that like I could. Like that's an experience that like, bro, like I remember like playing. What was my go to? If I'm thinking about all the games I played, I know Here Comes the Pain was definitely one of them. Like Mario Kart Racing,
Yeah,
or my little brother loved Soul Calibur. He used to fuck me up on Soul Calibur. What else? Like Soul Calibur, Mario Kart Racing, Donkey Kong, the yellow cartridge on 64. Bro, some of those games are just so goaded, man. It's just like, and I feel bad for children today because they can't experience that the way we did. They can play it, but it ain't the same. It ain't the same. It ain't the same whatsoever.
no, learning how to share, learning how to like think like if somebody dies, you knew what not to do, so you knew how to pass it together. And then this is one of the things I'll do before we move on is Um, so you talked about grabbing all the food, getting that all. It was an event. Like you had to schedule it, even though this particular instance wasn't really. But it was me and my brother. We were like, okay, we got this. We got to get a bowl of this. Make sure we have it, so we don't have to keep getting up and stuff like that. Because you knew that you were about to complete whatever you were about to complete that day, and you needed to do it. So that's why you had to gather around people. But this particular instance, me and my brother, we wanted to do GM mode, and we were gonna see who was gonna win, who had the better brand. I don't remember who got what. I'm just gonna say he had SmackDown, I had Raw, and this was essential because GM mode was one of the hardest things to ever like get right. So SmackDown was Raw 2006 or 2007 because 2008 had ECW, and I knew we didn't have that.
For me, it was '07. That me and because I think I think that was the one we did was '07.
Yeah,
Guerrero was mad at me. He kept being mad at me.
yeah, I had '07. '07 was the one that had the most fun, but it was either one of those. And at first when you start, you have to do the draft, so you got to decide because you would pray that they wouldn't take your character, because I already knew who I wanted, and they had a certain amount of dollars. So I think it was each of you had 10 million. Of course, John, Batista, Shawn, Undertaker. You start, and then you start getting to the trash people like Vito and Kid Cash and people who you don't even people really know, like Joey Mercury. So, and then we try to go through that, and it takes a long time. You gotta, go through every match, set up pay-per-views, set up who's injured. You can't use them this many times, or they'll get angry and want to leave. You got to reinstate their contract. So, man, you just can't do that anymore.
Yeah, time. That was a time.
And we,
That was an era, bro.
I don't think we finished it. I don't even think we ever finished that, but we'll never know.
We would do the same thing with Madden with like fantasy draft.
Yeah, they did have those with the cards and stuff.
Yeah, like you would like the same thing with SmackDown versus Raw. All the players are free agents.
Yeah,
And it's a draft. All of them are draft prospects, and you're drafting. And we did the same thing, bro. And my little brother, my little man, and big man, we will all be together. We drafted now. We drafted and picking teams on 2K3 and 2K4 and Madden '05. Bro, again, those memories. It's like, damn, we got to experience probably the golden era of video games.
yeah, where you had a notebook and you wrote down names of who you wanted, and if they took it, you had a backup. That's at least what I did. And then you kept the notebook just because you didn't want them to know who
Yeah,
you got.
yep. And so and yeah, man, now I'm looking back, bro. Like, I'm so grateful for those times. I'm so grateful for those experiences because, excuse me, we had to be creative in our fun. We had freedom, but we had to be even more creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be two controllers there. It might be four of y'all. Get the rotations going. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And then if you plan on PS2, it's two of y'all. Hold on, what's a multi-tap? Oh, really? All right, you get a controller, you get a controller. Get the multi-tap. Now you're playing Elimination Chamber. Like, you know what I'm saying?
oh
Like,
yeah,
or when you fucking, we gotta do this because we haven't done this. We haven't done this yet. We gotta play one of the wrestling Jones Royal Rumble mode.
bro.
I
I
haven't done
will,
that with y'all. We gotta do that though. That has to happen.
man. I'm gonna be afraid to tell you. I'm gonna be like Michael Jordan, and I'm gonna and spark up something in me because I always came out number one. I would always win because I knew when you got to. Here's what I would do. Let's say we're gonna move on, but I have to say this because people don't know. You had to figure out, or you not had to. You would figure out easier ways to get the win. So instead of getting them when they're fresh and trying to mash, because they didn't have the system now where you just point this, point that. You had to mash as hard as you could to get them, and obviously, no one can mash that great to get someone out fresh, like when they just came in. Sometimes you could, depending on if it was weight size, like if it was the Big Show or something. But I would do this, and only six people can be in the ring. Get them to a red body, put them on the, and then Irish whip them hard Irish whip, they fall right over. And then you do that, and then one by one, that's when you can start going
Yeah.
crazy. Get your finisher, RKO, whatever, pick them up. Now it would be hard because they like to reverse a lot,
Oh yeah.
but you you get out there, you get them freaking Royal Rumbles out there, bro.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm going crazy. I was
Those
so good at doing those Royal Rumbles. I practiced a lot. And then Hulk Hogan was broken in 2006. I don't think this happened in 2007. 2006 he had a counter. I hated that he had it. The freaking Hulk up. You just run up to someone and he do this. Bro,
oh yeah.
didn't know that
Yeah.
that was possible.
Great time, bro.
Oh God.
Great times.
Okay. Um Back to music. This is gonna tie in to a genre from when we did the cipher, and we'll get to the cipher later. Um, you mentioned some of your musical influences were not only rappers but rock groups.
Mhm.
So for me, the thing that made me different was I grew up with rock music, and a lot of that came from VH1. I watched way more VH1 than MTV, so a lot of my groups were metal groups like Metallica, Black Sabbath, Van Halen, Nirvana, people like that.
Mhm.
And occasionally you see a rapper every now and then. And Guitar Hero also helped, so I gotta shout out Guitar Hero because they put me onto the old, like the '80s, like Run DMC and Beastie
Mhm.
Boys. Um, so my thing is, like when you got introduced to rock music, what were what were those bands, and
Creed.
was it through like what was the medium that you discovered them?
Wrestling.
Wrestling, yeah, wrestling also. Oh my god, yes,
Wrestling.
wrestling music,
It
the
was Three
soundtrack.
Doors Down, pre
Oh god,
Three Doors Down, pre Nickelback, Pain.
damn, and then the entrance musics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
That's
god,
that, for me. That was, believe it or not, most music that's not hip hop I either came in contact with it through wrestling or football highlights on YouTube. That was how I came through a lot of music that wasn't rap. And Creed, My Sacrifice is one of my favorite songs of all time. If you ask me to play my 10 favorite songs of all time, that's one of them. I also think it's one of the best songs of all time. Um, I also think Evanescence, Bring Me to Life?
bring me back to life.
I think that's one of the best songs of all time. Even though we had that 50 Cent debate about who should have won, I
Mm.
still think that's one of the best songs of all time. Like that song was like, bro, I'm getting chills talking about this shit. That song was like on every movie. It was all over the first Daredevil movie. Like, I remember that song very well. But yeah, that era of wrestling introduced me to a lot of rock and alternative, Linkin Park. Like that brought me into, and then also um, my brother Josh. Josh is like he was heavy in that space too. So because I had Josh and I had Corey, I was able to lean into it more.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to lean into it a little bit more because I had them. But yeah, it was wrestling. It was wrestling that brought me to that other side of music, which was dope, man. I love that shit, man.
I totally
I love
forgot
that shit.
about that. Sports games as a whole, like
Yep.
SSX, they had a lot of punk music. Guitar Hero had
Tony
all the music, and then
Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk's another one that had a lot of
Tony Hawk too.
like
Yeah.
yep. Yep.
Uh,
So yeah, for me, and that's why I'm actually gonna make a highlight during the day of Warzone with my music in the back because I'll never forget that me seeing that stuff is how I came in contact with a lot of artists. So and that's something I'll continue to do with the various games that I play and all that.
right. And I'm you know I bring that up to lead into the next one because a lot of the times, and this is something I thought was ridiculous, but uh, how do you feel about when some people don't think that rappers belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Never thought about that until you asked that question. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, although it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's not about just rock and roll.
That's what I always say.
So because of that, I think the name confuses people. I think it's just the name thing. I think people can't get over the fact that it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame instead of like maybe the Music Hall of Fame. Like, because in one way, shape, or form, rap has influenced and rock and roll has influenced rap. And you see a lot of people crossing over. It's just paying homage to greatness. It's paying homage to greatness. I think that they should still do that. If I had any gripe, it'd be changing the name, but the name is the name. We're gonna leave it at what it is. Um, but I think they should be because I think was Eminem just inducted. I think
So
Eminem was
the
inducted.
most recent one was Outkast.
Yeah, Outkast was inducted. Um, but I think that like when you have made a historical impact musically, now how do you determine that? I don't know. But when you've made an impact musically, Outkast has some of the best. They have amazing records, bro. And you can tell that collectively they think different. I have a hot take. I don't think we give Big Boy as much credit as we should.
Mm.
It's a group.
Do you think that's why? Well, maybe this is not why, but this could be uh, a speculation. Do you think that's why Andre 3000 didn't perform? I don't know if you saw it, but Andre 3000 didn't perform with Big Boy, but Big Boy was on the stage with many other people doing their tribute, a melody of their hits.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, I'm not entirely sure. But I just think that we give Andre 3K a lot of credit. We say, yo, he is one of the baddest MFers of all time. And he is amazing. A big boy, it's almost like the way we talk about Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
We love Jeff. We love
I
Jeff.
feel bad.
Like Jeff,
That's a good
Jeff,
comparison.
Jeff is amazing. But we would not love Jeff the same without Matt. We would not love him the same. We would just think he a crazy ass nigga. And he is crazy. But Matt is very skilled, very great in the ring. He's great. He's amazing. He's just not what Jeff is. In the same way that Big Boy is amazing, he's just not what Andre 3000 is. And so it's like, yeah, no, give Andre 3K his praise, but Big Boy deserves those flowers because he is like that, man. His sound, his cadences, his rhythm, even his acting. His acting is funny as a mother. He was the funniest villain I've ever seen in my life. He had me laughing so much ATL, bro. I was like, this nigga, man. Like, so I just think he deserves a little more flowers, but they're both amazing and shout out to both of them. Hopefully one day I see myself in there, man, but maybe not. Who knows?
We'll be
They
playing
gotta
this.
keep being great.
We'll be playing this back when he does get in there. But
That would be dope. I would cry like, damn, that shit. We did do that.
um, so the reason why I asked that is because when its inception was in 1986, and during that time, rap was new, and
Mhm.
some people, a lot of artists and record companies thought it was a trend. It was going to end. It wasn't going to last. I mean, it was based. It wasn't even 10 years old yet. So, and in 1986, you had people. The first crazy class, but I don't know all of them off the top. But James Brown, um, James Brown, Ray Charles, the Beach Boy. No, the Temptation.
People,
The not the Beach Boys.
but you talk about like the old school, like the singers.
Yeah, these are people who were inducted in the first Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Got you.
James Brown, I believe, the Beach Boys,
Mm-hmm.
Stevie Wonder. Oh no, not Stevie Wonder. Ray Charles, and maybe the Rolling Stones. I think the Beatles were next year. Anywho, so maybe it is a name thing, but I always said the same thing where it's a sonic musical thing. It's a sonic thing
Yep.
where it's not just about rock people or roll people, because they do have a country music hall of fame. They do
Yep.
have a, I'm sure they got like a damn indie hall of fame, but there's too many genres to have hall of fames for specific groups of people. And
Yeah.
because it's, so decorated, yeah, country music artists are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. Just like how there's pop artists in the Dance Music Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
I think they need to forget about the name and think about the impact they've had on music.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if rappers get to that level, it's very few. I think that's the thing, the distinction. It's not that we don't like rap. I think there's very few artists that you can say that you think of, even with their aspiring class. Like, Outkast and was got in with you know the White Stripes. I like the White Stripes. To me, I really only know a few songs by the White Stripes, but they've been here forever. Like, they've been here since 2000. So, um, that being said, the first rap group I saw get into the Hall of Fame was Run DMC. So
I
I'm
was gonna
thinking,
run DMC. Yeah. Yeah.
well, that makes sense. They literally, nothing was bigger in the 80s than that. 90s to me, Heavy D. 2000s probably,
Then NWA they came back.
N
They came about in the 80s.
NWA.
NWA.
Yeah, I didn't know about
Um,
NWA at the time.
and that would make sense because they're West Coast. NWA. When did the Beastly Boys come?
Beastie Boys came in 1980, 85.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like some of those early '80s, and then you on the East Coast you had Grandmaster Flash. You had some kid.
Oh,
There was some dogs, man. There was some
Grandmaster
dogs.
Flash, he got inducted in 2007. He wasn't the first one, but that was before I was watching it. Yeah,
And and it's you just got to be great, man. You got to be great. I know people give this dude a lot of hate, but he gonna be in there. Drake gonna be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, one hundred
absolutely.
percent.
It's
People give him
undeniable.
a lot of hate, but he's gonna be in there. And a lot of guys that shoot at him ain't gonna be in there. Like he's gonna be in there for sure. He's done. I've never seen a run like that in hip hop in my life. There hasn't been a run like that in ever. Like no other hip hop artist stayed hot musically 10 plus years in a row. It's never happened.
And you know what's
He's
funny
the
about
only one. He's the only one. So
the funny thing about that is that infamous clip where Soldier Boy is like, "I taught Drake everything he know." I'm pretty sure Soldier Boy is not getting it, but Drake will.
um, there could be an argument as to why he does, because the way he got into the game and popped off, he was like the first to do it that way. Like Soulja Boy popped off YouTube.
Hmm.
Before rappers was popping off of YouTube, it was him. Like Soldier Boy is a part of the early wave of what we have today.
Taking advantage of
Like
the internet.
the DDGs, Soldier Boy was the first to do that. Soldier Boy, 50 Cent, Joe Budden, those guys were on the internet blogging and doing all of that before it was the thing to do. Like Joe Budden TV is old as fuck. Like, he's had that channel called that for a long time. And so I could see them making a case for him being so inspirational in the fact that he was the first to do that. I don't know. I don't know because I don't know the criteria. But I know Soldier Boy when he had his run, Soldier Boy was Soldier Boy was making a lot of fucking noise on his run. He made a lot of noise in that first run, like so much noise, bro. So, I don't know. I don't know, but I know Drake will.
Yeah.
I know Drake will, for sure.
There are some people I would like to see get in next year that haven't been in. Hoping Aaliyah, hope she gets in. Hope they put my man R. Kelly in there, but who knows? Um, yeah, there's a bunch of people, but what era of hip hop do you think is legitimately the best, if there is a best era?
Um, that's hard to say because I'm going to offend people at what any answer I make. Um,
I can't wait.
I'm definitely going to offend people. So I don't think there's necessarily a right answer.
There's not.
But I think there's three eras that come to mind to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wasn't even born in this era, but I think the '80s, because '80s was when they said, "What is this thing we call hip hop?"
Right.
Right? That's my personal opinion. The '80s, because it's like, what is this thing that we call hip hop? Um, some would say the '90s. Some would say the '90s, and I'm not mad at that. But I would say the '80s. Again, I wasn't born then, but you gotta think the forefathers. Like you gotta think them. Then I'll also say the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
The 50 Cent run, X was still cracking. The Eminem run, like T.I.'s intro. We got Cheesy. Like we got a lot of legends in them early 2000s. Like we got a lot of goats that came in that era. Like think about the amount of platinum artists I can name off: Nelly, 50 Cent,
Yeah.
T.I., Ludacris, Lil Wayne, Jeezy. Like M was in the '90s, but M was still popping in the 2000s. There's a lot of platinum artists I can name from the two, and they were selling hard copy CDs, and they're going platinum, and that's crazy to me. So I would say the '80s, I would say early 2000s, and whatever class that was that Uzi and them came in. And because Uzi and them brought a whole nother sound to hip hop. They brought a whole nother sound to hip hop. Like they brought like something that's like, what the fuck is this? And some people rejected it, some people loved it. But they brought a whole nother sound to hip hop. So whatever era that is that like 16?
I would say that was 2015, 2019.
So that whatever era that is, like I think those are the three eras that I think I'm like, yo, those are like the best eras of hip hop because I feel like the '80s was like, what is this hip hop thing? The only reason why I'm not gonna say the '90s, too many niggas was getting killed in the '90s. Like, there was a lot of niggas just getting, a lot of great rappers dying in the '90s. Big L, Pun. Now Pun did. I don't think Pun wasn't Pun died because of his. I think
His
he had a heart
weight.
attack or
Yeah.
something. But Big L, Pac, Big, like the era to me, it was just it's a great era. If you say the '90s, I'm not mad, but I'm picking the early 2000s to me over the '90s because there was a lot of guys, a lot of people in that early 2000s era, and they're still alive today. A lot of them are still alive today.
Yeah. Me personally, I would choose the SoundCloud era, which is at 15 and 19. Because that was one of my favorite eras that got me into those artists and that run, like I'm to me, how someone who's never listened to rap before and you plant them into 2016 and then you get Migos, Uzi, Cardi, PNB, X, Juice World. That was Trippy Red. Well, he fell off, but Nebuchadnezzar. You get all those people, Ugly God. I can keep going. The baby, keep going.
Mhm. Yeah,
And this is early when before they were like releasing stuff, releasing trash. But legitimately for me, I think '80s is a good one to say because it was fun
Mhm.
for a majority of it. Like there was people talking about money and crack and stuff, but it wasn't like how hardcore it was in the '90s. And
The
and
'90s was on some real.
it was tough. And in '80s
real
they had a lot of really hard beats for the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And also you could dance to it. I don't
yeah,
recall a lot of rap songs that you could dance to until songs like "I Like the Way You Move" or I don't even
yeah.
know if the Cupid Shuffle is a rap song.
See, that's
I
a good
don't.
question. I don't know if I put it in there, but
Yeah, but there's not a
first
lot
listen,
of rap like before. Not Like Us. I can't really recall too many rap songs where you could just really dance to, and they're actually rapping. I'm sure there are
oh
stuff
no,
like that.
I mean like but that kind of goes to that's in like the mid 2000s. We had Laffy Taffy and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Laffy
Rock with it,
Taffy.
like
Oh, Lean with It,
uh,
Rock with It.
like so we and that's why I said that era to me like though Because I feel like that era, you had some gangster shit, you had some dancing shit, you had lyrical, you had a lot of different shit, and a lot of legends are of that era. Um, you know what I'm saying? So like you had a lot of legends of that era, just being like, and that's what to me why it's so important. Like that just came in that era and is still here today. Yeah, I also think they're the most versatile of all the legends that exist in hip hop. The legends of the early 2000s are the most versatile because they still kill today. Like if you say
Hmm.
Wayne, I need a killer 64, he gonna kill it. T.I. can do the same. Jeezy can still drop a great record. Like they can still be good today. There's some rappers from earlier eras that haven't fully adjusted and they still sound like it's that era.
Hmm.
And it's like that's great and I respect it, but it's not. It ain't resonating right now.
Okay. Here's a fun one as a palate cleanser. Do you think the collab with Jay Z and Linkin Park would be as good as a Ti or and a Three Doors Down collab? Because I know you like this first. I don't even know what that would sound
Yeah, if I'm like, I don't know, I gotta go with Jay and Lincoln Park because I heard what it sounds like. Um, like I think a Ti, I think one of them will be favoring the other heavily to make it work. Like it would be like it would be like Three Doors Down, Ti in the background, or Ti and Three Doors Down in the background. It wouldn't be Lincoln Park and Jay were able to actually like peanut butter and jelly it. A lot of people would be more peanut butter and jelly and more jelly than peanut butter, and they were able to like really get the mesh and sound good. So, but I don't know. So I gotta go with Jay and Lincoln Park. I gotta go
like.
with them.
I had to find a way to put Three Doors Down in here. Okay, so man, we could get through these. Don't worry. Uh, there was a video we made where
Mhm.
you came over and heard a trash beat,
Oh man.
thinking that it was legit. Do you remember that? You remember that, and also the revenge video where, or not the revenge video, but the video you made where you came to us and you shot on your GoPro with Nerf guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, content creation is basically the antithesis of where I'm going with this. So how has stuff like that been for you? And do you remember that day when you came up to our house and thinking that you were about to hear a legit beat?
Um, I remember the day of coming over there and you playing that beat, and I was so hurt. I said, "What the fuck?" And the beat just went bad. I said, "What? Oh no, this ain't it." I remember that. I remember that day. I remember I had boots on. That's why I remember that day. I remember I had boots on. I think I just got like a haircut or some
Yeah,
shit, and I'm like, "What the
white
fuck is
shirt,
this?"
sweatpants.
Yeah, I said, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm looking at you. You like, "No," and I'm like, "Oh no, oh no, this ain't it at all." Um, as far as the Nerf gun shit, and that's why like me and my boy Josh, we laugh about this. And Josh, he's admitted it. He said, "Yo, I used to be jealous of is it is it RDC
RDC,
RDC
yeah,
World?"
RDC World.
He said, "I'm jealous of them." He said because we did all of that shit, we just did it off camera.
Hmm.
We did everything that they doing, like at least when they were starting off, we did all of that shit. We just did it off camera. We just didn't think to pick up a camera and record it and post it. We just did it on camera. And so he's like, "Bro, we would have been huge, right?" He said, "But I gotta give him the credit." And you bring up the video with me using the Nerf gun. I wasn't even thinking about content. I didn't think of it as content, but it is content. But I didn't think about it like content. So I'm gonna shoot these niggas up because these niggas done slam me on the bed. So um, and I'm riding down the street in the car with the GoPro. The shit looked like I'm about to do a drive-by. And then Rich come out with a big ass white beater or black beater and do
Yeah,
rag. Like
bro.
it was hilarious, right? So it's like it was just fun. It was just fun, man. And I think I still stand on this with all the talent in our friend group. We could make a lot of those types of videos. We could make a lot of those types of skits. We could do like I'm not gonna say the one that we talked about doing
Hmm.
with the Smash Brothers and when y'all doing the tournaments and stuff. I'm not gonna talk about that one because I think that one we can still do at some point. But um,
Yes.
But it's just like, yo, like we really could dominate that space. We have everything we need to do it. So, that's me just being, transparent about that. Like, it's fun. That shit is fun, man. And I've been doing it for a long time. I just didn't even know I was doing it. Now I'm taking it serious. And I went viral a couple times, got a couple million, got million view videos. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm. And it's great that content creation has been, your main squeeze, for advertisement and things like that. So, what was your favorite thing that you discovered when teaching yourself how to take advantage of this engine we call social media?
um favorite thing? Man, it's a lot. It's a favorite thing is making money on it. For sure.
Well,
Making money. For sure. When I got my first paycheck for that, I was like, ooh, this shit actually happens. Um, so like that's probably the favorite. The thing I enjoyed, well, not the thing I enjoy the most, but the simple fact that everything is essentially became a dating app is great and bad at the same time. So like your Instagram is a dating app, without you recognizing it's a dating app. And if
mm,
you post the right content on there and you got your shit really buzzing, you gonna have chicks show up on you and pull up on you and DM. I had that happen.
or
I'm
men.
like, damn. I'm like, damn, this actually happens like this, right? So there's a lot of things you enjoy about it, but there's sides I don't enjoy. Like when men hit me up and say wild shit to me, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like I've gotten so many of those. Actually, I was just reading like I was
Oh
just reading
yeah.
like yesterday I was going through my phone because I got screenshots. I was just reading some of the fucking messages I got. I'm like, bro,
He
like one
said,
dude literally
"Stand
wrote,
still. I'm almost done."
bro, one dude said, I hope you get raped by a pack of wild niggas.
Damn.
I said, yo, like it's like so that's the other side you don't like, but I do like the fact that social media is the engine I get to post my music through and share my music through, and that I'm connecting with people in so many spaces. And again, even though I'm not nearly where I want to be, seeing where my content has gone and where my music is going because of the content, that's some hopeful shit right there for me. That's something I'm like, yes, you know what I'm saying, like that, like I'm doing my thing. You feel me? So,
Hmm.
um, because like I guess this is like a thing that all of us as content creators can like. All of us as artists, then kind of because if you're an artist today, you're a content creator. You have to be. Um, um, that like what I make, there are people who like this. It may not be next door or across the street, but there's somebody 10 miles away that likes this. Somebody that's 4 miles away that likes this. Somebody 100 miles away that likes this. So when you keep producing and executing, you start to find that out, and then you find people who legitimately like your shit. I have to remember Ti's from Atlanta, and Vanessa's from Detroit. I never met them. Those are
Hmm.
my favorites. So my biggest fan is probably in like Alabama some fucking way. Like you know what I'm saying? My biggest fan is probably in San Diego or some shit like that. You who knows, right? So it's a humble reminder that bro, you just gotta keep making, you gotta keep working, you'll get it.
Yeah, and some of your content isn't just music; it's with the games which you talked about, mostly Call of Duty. I do want to know: do you still, like using the riot shield? Are you still good at that?
They took it out. They took it out. Too many people hated the riot shoe.
Oh, they
Like
took it out. They patched
took
you.
it out. Took it out. But I didn't mind them taking it out because the thing was, I was always a Call of Duty guy. I didn't play Warzone. I started playing Warzone like 2020 or 2019. Started playing it a little bit then. I wasn't really good at it. And so, you know those unspoken rules in Smash Brothers? Like those unspoken rules, right?
Yeah.
If you're competitive, these are unspoken. Like you don't play with this character. I didn't know the riot shield was that unspoken rule in Warzone. People look at me like, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, I didn't know it was the unspoken rule. Um, so when I found out I was, I'm stubborn. I'm like, you can't beat me in real life, so fuck you. I'm gonna do it anyway. Once they patched it, it's like, well, now I get to use like the actual guns a lot. Okay, cool. But if it was there, I could. Um, but it was one of the unspoken rules, and they patched that shit. Like the competitive players, casualties, like bro, take that shit off, blah blah blah. But it was fun. Though. It was fun. It was fun as shit using the riot shield and you know, stun a nigga and stab the shit out. That shit was fun. Like I got like 4 kills in a row doing that one time. It was mad. One dude wrote in the comments like, I never get this. Because I stunned somebody and I killed 3 of them back to back. Some dude in the comments like, he don't hear you stabbing the shit out of his partner like that. And I bust out laughing. Like, I bust out laughing. So it's like, I miss it, but it's like, I do like shooting motherfuckers. It's fun. I do like that.
Mm. Man, I forget if one of those rules apply to Smash Bros. The closest thing I can think of is I don't know if this really happens anymore, but if somebody like oh well, I can't really use that one, but I'll use this one. If somebody chooses the wrong stage, um, you got to run off so they can choose the right one. Oh no, this is a better one. This is a better one. All right, so there's a rule in Smash Brothers. If you run out of time, the person who has the most percent has to they lose the game. So like, and this would there's a variety of cases where this happens on purpose, and there are rare cases where this happens by accident. Because some people be playing characters that like you just start zoning everywhere and you just waste time.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes a match can be so intense where you can't kill anyone, and then the last few seconds, and you start seeing that big 5, 4, 3, and now you got to go back to see who had which percent. So like if you had 100%, I had 99. You know what I'm saying? You would lose, and so that's one of those things I could see. But as we transition to getting older, I heard before this being broadcasted as fatherhood. Want to have a family, want to be a father. What does fatherhood look like for you in the future, and what would you know, what are some things you look forward to?
I look forward to watching my mom be a grandma.
Sir.
Right? Like I watch her pick up the kittens now, and play with them. I'll watch the kitten be rambunctious, and she'll pick them up. They'll just look at her. Bro, what's wrong with you? Like, and the kitten is just relaxed and just looking at her. All right, like watching her be a grandmother. Um, Watching the woman that I'm in love with being a mom. Right, like creating the environment for my potential kids, my future kids if I do have them. 'Cause I'd be nervous about it sometimes. Uh, because I almost was a father on 3 different occasions, and you realize at that point how much of it is not in your control. You realize right then, like through those events, I realized, damn, I don't really have any say so. So if I am given that opportunity, creating an environment for them that is healthy and efficient, uh, that can help teach them some lessons. Like it's almost the same when I look at my cats and I see how comfortable they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the bed stretched out like this, not a care in the world, ain't got no clothes on. It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the kids will have clothes on, but the cats ain't got no clothes on. They just got fur. And so they're just laying out like this, and you know what I'm saying? They stretched out and they do what they want. It's like having an environment where your kids can run around, be kids, and just have fun and 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 grow and watch them mature and do different things. Like I don't want my kids to do anything specifically. They don't gotta do music. They don't gotta do sports. But whatever they do, they will be great at. I will
Mm-hmm.
demand that they give it their best. That's it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care if it's math. I don't care what it is. I just want them to do their best at it. I would like them if I had children, I would like them to all learn some form of self defense with some type of fighting skill. Because it teaches discipline and being able to protect themselves if need be. But I don't need them to do anything. I just, I think being a father is just. I watched the fun we gave, even though we got on my dad's nerves. I watched him have fun with us.
Yeah.
Right? even though my mom struggled early on, just her being in treatment and everything like that. My mom had cancer when I was super young, so I watched her struggle with some things. My mom, she enjoyed coming and get us, and she feed us burgers and fries, and just and she got to be a young mom and figure out life. That shit was dope. So um, I say that to say like I feel like that's gonna be a great thing if I ever get the opportunity. 'Cause fatherhood is a very important thing to me. I love kids. I love kids so much I stay away from single moms. I'm gonna
Uh,
like the kid more than the mom. I'm gonna end up liking the kid more than the mom. I already know that. I'm gonna end
yeah.
up liking the kid more than the mom. And if I see you doing some fuck shit, I'm gonna call you out on it. It tends to not work. You know what I'm saying? It tends to not work. So I'd rather me and this woman start our own family because I'm gonna say some shit. I'm gonna end up liking the kid more than the mom. I kind of seen that with my ex. Cause my ex had no kid. She had a little brother, and me and him was tight as fuck, man. That was my dog. You know what I'm saying? But me and her don't last. It's hard to really maintain a relationship at that point. And I can only imagine what that would be like if she had a son or a daughter and I bonded with them and now we break up. Yeah, if we break up, it's still my son. You know what I'm saying? Like if we
Hmm.
have the kid together. So yeah, I look forward to it, bro. I think that shit is awesome. I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and maybe getting one of those times where you get to pick up the child from school, and then you have to bring him back, but you get there in time for lunch, and they come in with the McDonald's bag. You know, nothing
Yeah,
more special than that. Did you ever have any names picked out? If you
yeah.
have,
For a long time, the rule was if I have a son,
it's
he's a
Junior.
ginger. He'd be named after me.
Okay, so he'd be the fifth, fourth,
He'd be the
fifth.
fourth one.
Okay.
And but now I think if I do have a son, my first son will be named after one of my closest friends, the one that got murdered in July. He will be named. His name will be Kyle Terrell Jackson. Terrell is my mother's middle name.
KJ.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So Terrell is my mom's middle name. Now, if I could guarantee that I was going to have another son, I would name the other one Terrell. But
Hmm.
I think naming him Kyle Terrell Jackson, that would be my first son's name for sure. And if I have another son, he could be the fourth.
Hmm.
But that first one, Kyle Terrell Jackson. I have no girl names.
No,
None
okay.
whatsoever. I have no idea.
Ah, mine would be Genevieve because I like that name.
Man, I wanted to name my son Trunks.
Trunks. You could do it in like an acronym. You know what I'm saying? Like Terrell. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
But
Goku.
like, I want a couple kids, man. I want two, three, four. I take four. I want some kids. I want some babies. I don't want just one. So I like to find a woman who wants that too. And there's some women out here who do
Yeah.
want three, four kids. But so I gotta be careful with that. But I definitely want like two, three, four kids. I want a nice household where I want some chaos.
Hmm.
I want some chaos in the household. I need some little mini gingers running around doing shit. Yeah.
Well, how hard was it going through that period that you mentioned where someone you were dealing with did have an abortion? Uh, like what is that like? Because me, I don't know what that's like, especially
Um,
if you really want it.
it's painful because it's painful, and I didn't feel like I was allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
One time I made a post about that on TikTok, and everyone in the post was like, the context of it. I say, yo, what would you say to a man who wanted to be a father, got his girlfriend pregnant, and then she went ahead and had an abortion? What are some words of encouragement you would give him? And it was the most insensitive shit I ever saw. People were like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just telling him to go find another girl."
Whoa.
I said, if I asked you that about a woman, you wouldn't say go find another man. You wouldn't say that. If I was like, well, what would you say to a woman if she got pregnant and the man like, I don't want no kid? You wouldn't say go find another man. That wouldn't be your response. That was very insensitive, and it was a lot of that. So I really, and that was a good bit after, but I really didn't share about it because I didn't think no one cared that I felt the way about her doing that. I think nobody cared. The world told me several times it's not about me when it comes to that. So I didn't think I was allowed any emotions or feelings towards it, and that hurt me a lot. mentally. It hurt me a lot. So, so I struggle with that a lot, bro, because I feel
Mm.
like I wasn't allowed to feel no way about it.
Uh, man, yeah. Is that? Do you think that will change over time, or is this still going to be my really heavy on the my body, my choice mindset?
I mean, it will always be my body, my choice, generally speaking, and it should be like the women should be able to. It's their body, right? Like it's their body. So it is their body, and women should have the freedom and liberty to say what they want to do with their body. Um, However, I am starting to see a turn in which we care more about the men and their mental health and how shit affects them. For a long time, the life of a man is just performance based. What can you do? Oh, you can't? All right, get the fuck out of here. It's just been performance based for a lot of men. We're starting to care a little bit more about us and make us more of a priority. Um, and so I do think it'll start to. It's been starting to change, but it will be. I don't know if it'll ever fully come around. Whereas though it's like if you and this man both engage in the act and he want the kid and you might not want the kid, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a really deep intrinsic conversation people need to have. But I would have at least wanted a deeper conversation about their decision.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could change it, but I would at least wanted a conversation.
Okay. And going off of that, is that one of the lessons you learned from being in those relationships? But if not, what did you learn from being in those situations?
I'm not. It's easy to forgive. I hold on to shit.
Mm.
So I hold on to things. That's one. Two, I make it very known early. I want kids. So if you don't want kids, get the fuck away from me.
Simple as
I make it
that.
very. It's very known. I want children. At some point, if you don't want children, then we don't have no reason to talk. I do plan on like if we're gonna be together, I'm shooting that club up. I want some babies. I want
I'm
some babies. I want commitment. I want a long relationship. I want marriage. That's what I want. And I ain't planning on getting divorced or no little dumbass shit. So you know, and I make that very clear. That's where I stand. I'm not budging off of that. That's where I stand. Um, and I've met women who do not want children at all.
interested.
I've met women who don't want children at all. Like they don't want to have children at all. And I've even had them try to convince me. Well, man, you can just adopt, right? I said, yeah, I can adopt, but I also want some of my own. So ultimately, it's one of those things that it taught me to be very direct up front. Say something when I'm hurt. Say something when I'm bothered, and leave when I'm not being. And leave. It's okay to leave. I stayed in a relationship way too long. And those last two, I stayed in those way too long, bro. Like I had no reason to be there as long as I was.
Mm. Wow. That's something I'm very curious on because maybe this could definitely help because there's a point where you just don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, especially if you know that if you go through the proper steps, like you start to know them, like get to know them, they probably feel certain way about things you don't really subscribe to, and you're trying to be like, I don't really, I don't really see a future. So I guess how long did it take you to know yourself enough to deny certain, I guess, desires in this case, knowing it would be destructive, whether it be a relationship or anything in life in general?
I still fall short on that today. I still fall short today, but I'm better than I was. Like that's why I've been single 5 years.
Hmm.
Because I'm okay with saying, all right, whatever. I'm good. I become better with that. I used to be like, no, no, but now I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, and so because when you've been single as long as I've been single, it's very easy to let somebody walk away. It's very easy to be ghosted, and I ain't trying to figure out why you ghosted me. As long as you know you didn't do nothing cringy, because sometimes niggas fuck up, and we know we fucked up, but we don't. That's one thing. But when you know you fucked up, like that's one thing. But if you know you didn't fuck up, and they just ghosted you, okay. I buried my dad. I buried my brother. You ain't knowing them. I don't even know you well enough to care about you as deeply as I cared about them. You know. So you become okay with that. But the flip side to that is that like you become cold. You'll become cold to something that could potentially be really good. Because once you checked out, you checked out. So I had to find a median in that. Um, but it's been good understanding and developing those boundaries. It took me to lose those. It took me to be out those relationships to really start to develop the boundaries. Because what you learn is like, let's say you got, and you actually know this, but I'm gonna say this for the people, this is going on YouTube.
Yeah.
So for the people out there, like, if you got a hard boundary, let's say your boundary is, I don't want to be with nobody. Let's say you're a guy, you say, I don't want to be with nobody who got two or more kids, and then you go date someone who has two kids. And you already know in the back of your mind, you really didn't want to do this. Then you go do it. You still got this thing in the back of your mind, like, why are you doing this? And then when those kids become any bit of an inconvenience, because it's two of them, don't let it be two different fathers, because that's going to make it more of a craziness, right? You're going to be reminded that this was something you didn't really want in the first fucking place. And then, excuse me, if she said something like, I don't want no more kids. I'm good with my two. Now you're really hot. Because you wanted kids. You didn't establish that at the beginning. She got two of her own. You playing stepdad to it. Like you got all those things happening, and you ain't happy because your boundaries already violated. So it's one of those things where it's like, once I understood those things, because I've had women who I've met who look great. I'm talking about physically, everything I like, cool mentally, but I had a hard boundary, I'm like, I'm not crossing. Like I met a woman that did cocaine.
Wow.
That's a boundary for me. I'm
I
not fucking.
mean, I would hope so.
Yeah, I'm not fucking. I'm not. I don't even want to be with you at all. I don't even want to be with you at all. You do what? I'm good. Right. So it's one of those things where like when you have your hard boundary, don't break that. It's there for a reason. Some of us are idiots and our boundaries make no sense. Like
Okay. Yeah.
I met a woman who was 300 pounds. Who said she will not date another man she won't date a man who's 230 pounds. I'm like, yo, I understand, but you also gotta understand, like, there's another side to that. There's another side to that. And, like, or a dude be like, I want my woman to submit to me, only to me. My woman needs to be a stay at home, this, that, and third. Bro, you have no job. You have no home to stay in. What are you talking about? Right? Like, it'd be shit like that. You'd be like, bro, you have no job.
Oh my
What do
gosh.
you mean you want her to be at home? Where the fuck she gonna be at? Outside?
She needs to pick him up from work.
It's like manage your expectations. Don't be crazy in your boundaries. Have a solid reason why this is a boundary. I don't want to deal with no one who's an excessive drinker. Why? I don't drink. I have a family of history of addiction all through my family bloodline. Right? I don't want to be someone who excessively drinks or anything like that because we have a kid, the likelihood of them having addictive behavior is pretty fucking high. Don't want that. That's a boundary for me. Drink casually, cool. So it's like understand your boundary, why you have it. But I learned that through those relationships. Because both of them violated my boundaries early as shit. Early. Like, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
No. Like, no. So
Yeah. Well, that's great advice. Very great advice, for all those guys who don't know what to do out there. I think this would be, if to easily follow that. I'm very curious. Do any of your exes still hit you up? I mean, maybe not the one in
yeah.
particular with the balloons, but do any of your exes still hit you up?
She did reach out to me, not recently. She reached out there was a point in which we broke up the last time and she did reach out. A lot of people don't know that, but she did at one point. My ex before her did reach out to me on a couple different occasions when I went live on TikTok. She put up on there a couple times, and the chat didn't know who she was, so she kind of just flew under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
It just came off like a woman who felt like who was. It came off like a woman who was interested, but no one knew that was,
Someone you
and no
knew.
one really, yeah, and no one realized that she called me BJ because she knew me as BJ. But no one realized that that's what she was like. There was a deeper history between me and her that the chat didn't catch on. And she's like, "Oh, I miss you. You look so handsome," and da 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 da. And I'm like, "Bitch, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?" So it will happen, and the better you do, even if it's not an ex, a woman from your past will show up when you start doing better, and they start recognizing that you're doing better, and God forbid, don't let me be 100,000 follower guy on
Mhm.
Instagram, you know, or 100,000 sub guy on YouTube. Don't let me be that guy, because when that happens, I already know they're gonna pull back up because they already have. They've done it beforehand. I'm not saying all of them, but I know women from my past will do that. So I'm already mentally prepared for that. And I have no intention of like messing around with them or rekindling anything. Like I'm good because if I wasn't good enough prior, I'm not about to rekindle and figure out that we can make it work today. I'm good.
Mhm.
So I'm already hip. I know that happened. But yeah, that one she has popped up maybe 4 or 5 times on my TikTok live.
Wow.
4 or 5 times. Yeah.
And to be able to say no is way more than the average person can do. But
Yeah, it's necessary though. It's hard, but it's necessary though. It's hard though.
um well, I guess we can get to the part we stumbled across like a few minutes ago, or many minutes ago, the Ville freshman class that you took part in. And thank you for that. This was towards the decline. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to keep up with it because I was there was a lot less engagement with Millersville as a whole, and there was a lot less people to deal with. You still working on it? Yes. Oh, okay. And there was a lot less people to talk to that did that particular style of music. A lot of no's. Um, just nowhere to really have a resource. So, um, this was one of the last ones that I was thinking was gonna happen because the year before, I think I tried to do it in the art building, and
Mm-hmm.
everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Oh yeah, it did. I remember that.
Yeah, the janitor person said that I could be there, but didn't see them the next day, so didn't get a name, and there was a lot of you know art there that could have gotten destroyed if something went wrong, and then nobody knew who we were, and then people were getting stressing me out, saying that we can't do this, can't do that, and I'm like, you guys just so negative, and then there was people who didn't show up, a
Yeah.
person who did show up but had to turn back because I had a seizure, and then I woke up. Only three people showed, which was you, maybe somebody else. So we had to cancel it. And then, yeah. So then I tried to get the people that were supposed to be in the last year, into this one. Never heard. They either didn't rap anymore, or,
Yeah.
or they were too big to
Yeah.
respond. Um. So with this in particular, I only was able to grab four, and I had Smacks. I don't know what happened to
Yeah.
him. You, Tay Narcissus, and Mr. Al.
Yeah.
So, how was that day? How was that process? And what did you think of it, knowing that there was two previous ones, and how different you wanted to be? How different you wanted to make at least your part stand out?
Well, I knew one. I wanted it to work. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it to work, and I've always wanted to be a part of like the cipher esque. Like the freshman cipher thing. I've always wanted to be a part of that. That was always important to me. Um, Especially when I seen Don Tripp and Hops in that class, I was like, all right, yeah, because that was the class I saw. I saw them rise up and then become freshmen.
Hmm.
And that was the first class I saw that like, oh, MGK, those guys, they got nice and they became freshmen. I was like, all right, dope. I always wanted to do that. Um, what I the way I planned on standing out was simple. Rap your ass off. Like just rap, just go, just do your thing. Like do your thing. Make sure you hit these, make sure you hit the moments where you're supposed to hit them. And I went first on purpose. I was like, I'm going to go first. Um, but we had all guys that could rap. Right? We all of our guys could rap. None of us were new to rap. I think that was the major difference in our cipher than the other ones. Everyone there had been rapping for at least 5. I'm not sure about Mr. Al. I know for Smacks, he probably been rapping. He's been rapping for a while because I think he was in his 40th. Smacks was like 41 at the time, some shit like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so he had been rapping for a while, and when you heard him rap, you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely a Philly rapper from that era of. You can tell. So we all could rap, and we all have been rapping for some time. We weren't new to it, and it was very consistent. And you can kind of tell in the sounds and the wasn't nobody hating like, man, you ass. Like wasn't nobody doing that. Everyone was like cheering each other on, and we had a lot of funny blooper moments, and so that shit was fun too. And um, but it was just really dope. It was really dope. I always said we should do it. I always said we should do some type of reunion cipher. I always feel like we should do that because I feel like that would be the easiest one to do. Like a lot of these guys you have direct contact with, and you can get to them. Like, hey, let's do this or let's do that. Like I feel like you know what I'm saying. I've always felt that'd be a dope fucking thing to do. But it was just awesome, man. Like to be a part of that, to do it on the campus that I grew on. Like I became a man on Millersville campus. So I always thought it was just a great time, man. And then to support you and what you were doing, um, like I'm forever grateful for that because I feel like when shit pop off for artists, it's all gonna come back to you.
Well,
You're part of Mr. Owl's history, my history, Smack's history. You're part of all of our histories organically. Like not even on no. Hey, I'm Daniel Lewis. Like it's like no. Oh yeah, they did the cipher. We go check the cipher out. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. And to me, sharing this journey I'm on with my people, that's something I'm proud of. That's something I'm very proud of because I get to share this with my people. So I was honored, man. I was honored to do that. Honored to be there with those guys. Um,
well, it's. I'm glad that you were able to do it. Because the more, obviously, the best one in terms of success was the 2021 because we had like 9 people. But also there was the plans that got scrapped, which I'm hoping this one won't. So there is a plan for a reunion for to have people from each class because my thought process was each year we were gonna have a class, and then on the 10th anniversary of the first one, which is going to be in 3 years, pick 1 or 2 people from
mhm.
each one, and then have them represent their class. So that I still want to do, but I'm hoping that if I did get to that point, I would have a little bit more people, but I would just at this point ask anybody that would want to come and kind of redo it. I did end up giving that shirt away, so I won't have the same shirt I wore for the last 3 times. And then also, yes, I will be coming back for one night only to participate in it myself because you need as many people as you can. But the
Oh yeah.
things that did get scrapped was I wanted to do um, the the lyric breakdown the year prior. It's just that it was already nighttime by the time we finished, and also um, a lot of people were needed to leave. So
Mm-hmm.
and also that was done in the I forget which south whatever it's called, the great room.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
done in the great room. So the year prior they like closing stuff, so we didn't really have a lot of time. So we could only do so much pairings. tried to put the pairings and stuff. I wish I checked the beat for Tommy's group a little bit because it did. I tried to put it in there myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the first year, I was lucky to get an actual DJ. I don't remember his name. I don't remember how I got him, but I got him.
Maybe shit like that. Like, yo, I don't know how
I
you
don't
got
remember,
that,
but
but he's
he's
there.
there. Somebody replaced. There was somebody I was in PSSI with that rap who couldn't make it, and he recommended me. Money Made Eli. So now looking at where he's at, that's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There, people want to know what happened with the year after. I made a I guess like an intro of like, oh, I'm doing it again, and that was made prior to getting some names. I was
Mm-hmm.
hoping that John was going to be able to do it. There was the dudes that Bamali worked with that I was going to come out
Mm-hmm.
with, but they just fell off. Like as soon, like a month after that, they fell off.
Yeah.
So that was
No.
kind of unfortunate, and it was a dope intro too. So that was those were some of the things I've been people have been asking what happened, and also the last thing was I was gonna do a Where Are They Now video.
Mm-hmm.
The one I just never did it, never came across to do it. I don't know what happened to DRE. The only thing I do
Yeah.
know is he had a child with one of my friends, and Juice went to North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was at, and
Mm-hmm.
Tall Stacks is doing his thing. So it was going to be easy. It's just yeah, it was very hard to do. I'm glad that we all of it. It was a project that me, Bamali, and Rich got to work on as a group. That was one of the cool things about it. So yeah, man. So now that's off the way. Have you ever thought about acting since you're still,
Yeah.
doing stuff like that?
Acting is one of those things I've always wanted to do, but I was too scared to say it. Again, I was in a place mentally where um, I have said dreams to people close to me, and they're like, "Nah, you can't do that." So you get embarrassed about saying what you want to do. Always wanted to act, though. Always. My boy Kyle, before he was killed, was like, "Yo, you should be acting, bro. You got a natural aura about you, and you got a natural look, a real unique look. You should be acting." I've always wanted to act. When I was 12 years old, I wanted to make my own superhero and act him in a movie. 100%. Always wanted that, bro. Always.
Yeah, I thought people having a knack for it. I mean, even with we were talking about the cipher. Tommy looked very nervous being in front of a camera. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what's great about you doing content is that you've gotten accustomed to being in front of the camera,
Mm-hmm.
writing your own stuff, and then
Yep.
putting it publicly for the world. So I think that's a skill that you develop, and I think social media is a great way to start. But if you did act, or when you do decide to act, what's like I mean, I know superhero, but is there anything that you would see yourself doing that you wouldn't normally do?
It would either be superhero, action, comedy, and I would love to do a thriller.
Oh,
I'd love
as
to do a thriller.
as like a
I would love.
monster, or as like a this is one of the survivors
It
or
could
something.
be. It could be a psychological thriller.
Oh, yeah,
It could.
yeah,
It could be a horror movie. I could do a horror movie, but I would want to be in there only in a certain type of capacity. Like I want to be the one that's like making sense. Like, hey, we should split up. No, the fuck we shouldn't. Like, I want to be like, if they could put me in and let me be that guy, I'll be. I don't care if you kill me off, but like, let me be like, bro, like, why are we entering this house that says don't enter? Like, let me
yeah.
be that guy. Let me be him. I 100% do a horror movie. 100%. But if you make me in there and I gotta be a dickhead, I'm not doing it.
Or as the football jock.
I'm the football jock. Hey man, I'm gonna throw this football at man. Shut your stupid ass up, man. He got a knife. Look at the lick.
They always
Like
still have the Letterman on too. That's a crazy thing. They can't
the
just.
whole time. The whole time. And they got the cute girlfriend, the chick. Man, get the fuck out of here. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Nope. Let me be the common sense. I'm like, bro, this don't even make sense. Like, he killing all white women. Why am I here? Like, I'm not at risk. I want to be the guy to say shit like that. Like, this shit that's like, he got a point. Like, but so if I could do it in that capacity, that would be dope. But no, I've always wanted to act, bro. I just was scared to say it.
Got you. Now all the stuff that's happened throughout your life, there's a lot of friends that we know that are um they have very different perspectives, and one of those perspectives is being a God fearing man, things like that. Do you believe there's any involvement with Christ to where you've been at? If you believe that, in terms of being able to accomplish, as well as avoid the things you have so far.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Baptist church. I'm a Christian. I grew up in a Baptist church. Um, so I believe that there's some things that I've been protected from. Because the stuff that's killed, I mean, even the thing that killed my best friend, it killed my brother Kyle. Like, excuse me, I've done that shit a million times.
Yeah.
Done that type of shit a million times. So I'm like, why don't you take me instead? Why you want to take him? Like, I've done shit like that a million times. A million times. Shut up on motherfucker on the street. I shut up on somebody's doorstep. Come outside, nigga.
Let
I've done that a million times. Come outside, bro. You know why I'm here. I don't want to hear it.
me
I've
get
done it
you.
a million times, bro. Like, showed up on the block. Yo, people got a problem with the okay. Showed up with like I've done this. So it's like he got shot doing. Come on, like that type of thing. So I know, I know he's watching out for me because this is some shit I survived. I wasn't supposed to.
Hmm.
No way I was supposed to survive that. No way I was supposed to survive that.
Yeah, I know Solomon would have been proud that I asked that question. So, but no, I just get it. I get asked stuff like that a lot now, being around Solomon and Breland as well. They always kind of throw it in there, see what my perspectives are, and I always, never usually get to hear what other people have to think. They're not usually into that
Mhm.
um, organization. You know what I'm saying? Like I know it's been there, but it's maybe it's hard to accept, or it's not really. I'm not really that practicing, so you know it's kind of clouded it, but I do believe that there is a God and things like that. To the chagrin of other people's beliefs, but that's not any disrespect to them. It's just
Mhm.
it's what I grew up with, so it's been showing up recently, and I just had really weird, not weird, but funny weird memories of when having to get up on Sundays and didn't want to go, and having really bad bald haircuts and having to stay
Yeah.
for hours and hours, and then learning, oh, there's a second service. Oh, you got to stay for that one. Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
hated
I
those.
mean, for me, it was hard because my stepmom was a crackhead.
She would go.
So she gonna make me go to church. It's like you need to be there more than everybody. Like you gonna make me go. I ain't doing crack. You know what I'm saying? I said to her one day. So she said, "BJ, we going to church." I said, "Why you do crack though?
Oh,
I know we're going to church, but why you doing crack?" She's like, "Eric, get your son." And he said, and my dad like, "What did he do?" He just called me a crackhead. He said, "Well, shit." So I mean, so I mean, I was like I said, I wasn't a bad. I was just more like snark. I was a smart mom. I would be the one that's like,
Smug.
yeah, like my dad was like, "BJ, you wouldn't put that fucking TV. It's a fucking Magnavox." I said, "Dad, the TV in the living room was a Magnavox too. Shut the fuck up." Like I was that kid. Like I was, and like so that like it'd be like, I'm not about to let you just say something. I know what you're saying to me is absolutely wrong. I'm like, I take the ass whooping, but I'm gonna say this. Whatever you got to me afterwards, whatever. But I'm gonna say this thing that I know is absolutely correct because what you told me was wrong. So yeah, so I mean, it'd be like three different services. I remember them days. You in there from 8 to like 12, and then you're like, hold on, why are we staying?
She's
I gotta
on.
go live. I gotta go practice what he's teaching me. I can't just stay here all day. So,
Oh gosh. Well, our church when we went to was in Philly, so I guess I have to ask, what has Philly taught you that you still hold to this day, and also, why is it a weird place?
Philly's a weird place because everything is here, and it's here in great abundance. So you got gangsters, you got rats, you got snitches, you got freaky women, you got women selling box. But then on the same side, you got scholars,
Yeah,
you got educators, you got a lot of history. So you got every like literally Philly, those Phillies, those New Yorks, those DC. They're so big and rich that everything is here. But what Philly has taught me a few things. Um, Though nothing teach a bully a lesson like punch him in their mouth.
okay.
Bullies learn real quick when you punch them in their mouth. They learn real quick. Like they become geniuses when you punch them in their mouth. Um, so that's one thing. Go with your gut. When you sense something is off, either you say something or you just go with it. Um, uh, Whatever you want to do, you can make shift and make it happen. Fun fact about me: when Josh pointed this out to me before I even recognized it. He said,
Mm,
"Bro, you do know when we played football as kids, you literally ran from house to house, getting everyone to play football. Like you created what you needed to perfect your craft. It wasn't there for you. You weren't playing organized pop Warner. You weren't doing that. You literally went from house to house, getting people. Can you play? Can you play? You want to play? You want to play? Like you literally was doing that on your feet. There wasn't no car. You was running. You were physically running from block to block. So you created what you needed. Fast forward to here today. Whatever I need, I can create.
mm-hmm.
So the music, the content, I can create. It's all on me to make. I can do all that shit in this room. If I put the camera up here and I'm sitting on the floor, that's a different angle. If I put the camera on the left and I'm rapping, that's a different angle. If I put the camera right by the fan, so the fan blades are going in front of the camera as I'm rapping, that's a different angle. You can do everything you need from here. And really taught me to be as creative as possible and utilize everything at your disposal that you have. And you can do that. And then I went from running from house to house to make football games happen to hopping on a plane and going to Mexico to catch a touchdown.
I like that analogy.
Right? So you gotta put in the time, you gotta put in the work, and you gotta be willing to look crazy. I looked like a fucking idiot running around with a fucking Under Armour shirt on from house to house to get my homeboys to play ball. So what?
Mm-hmm.
I look like a genius getting on that plane going to Mexico. I
Passport
look like
stamp.
a genius going to Costa Rica. I look like a genius going back and forth to Canada, catching touchdowns, getting MVPs. I look like a genius then, didn't I? So you just got to put that time in. And that's why with me and you've had conversations about whatever, especially about like the Smash Club and all that stuff. I'm like, bro, make it then. Make it. I don't know. I'm like, D, make it. Just make it. Just create it. It's there. You can create it. So that's kind of where Philly has taught me that. Whatever you want to do, you can do. But you got to get out your own fucking way first.
Right.
That's Philly for you. That's lesson to life.
And shout outs to Timmy Hose. Get it a double double. Only Canadians will know that, but well, it's great to see how that mindset has got you to where you're at, and how athleticism has brought a lot of things to your life, and still a lot of core memories and core principles. But with the back end of this discussion, I would like to know, you know, your Mount Rushmore of Philly rappers and Philly celebrities or athletes, because I used to do this with a bunch of other stuff with when I used to do it, but I'm changing it up. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what you could do. Both you could do one or the other. I'm interested to see.
Huh. Well, if we're going to go Mount Rushmore Philly actors, we already know there's two that have to go up there.
Get
Will
jiggy with it.
Smith, and Kevin Hart. They got to go up there. There's no other way you have that list without them two on there. Um, I'm trying to think of who else. There's some other actors from Philly, but I'm trying to think of.
They can be celebrities in general. They don't necessarily have to be actors. They can be musicians. They can be yeah, yeah. They can.
Wallow,
Oh, the
Wallow,
motivational
Wallow.
guy. Okay.
Yeah, Wallow's up there. Then if we're not, if we're like, because I'm gonna do four rappers as well, but if we're talking about just like entertainers,
Yeah,
so to speak.
entertainment
Yeah,
industry.
yeah. So I'm gonna definitely go. Okay, that changes up a little bit. I'm definitely gonna go still Will Smith and Kevin Hart because those are the biggest faces we got. Like there's no other way around the biggest faces we got. And then after that, I will go Wallow. Wallow served 20 years in the penitentiary and came out and ran it up. Um, and then this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I think there's a lot of greats. There's a lot of greats. I would say Gilly, but Gilly and Wallow to me are a tandem. And Wallow being up there inadvertently mentions Gilly in
Yeah,
my
you can put
personal
them as
opinion.
a you can put them as a group.
So yeah, we put Wallow and Gilly in that category. And then for number four, oh man, that's a tough one. Hmm, that's a tough joint. That's a tough joint. Um, hmm. I can't think of anyone else to put here. Okay, I'm gonna put her here. Actually, I'm gonna say Jill Scott.
Hmm.
Jill Scott. Jill Scott has had some really good acting roles. Great singer, very soulful, like music. Um, yeah, I'm gonna throw Jill Scott in there. And then for my rappers, I'm gonna go Beanie Siegel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I gotta go Meek because I think Meek has outside of Will has had the most commercial success, and Meek came from that DVD era. He came from the DVD era and then had all that commercial success. We watched Meek do that. Meek went from the Flamers mixtapes and all that. Like Meek he's that. Um, and these last two are always tough. Um, and you can go a couple ways. I'm gonna go Eve. I'm gonna have to throw a female rapper up there. Shout out to Eve. Eve is she's like that and she's fucking gorgeous, and she's like that though. Um, and number four is a little tough. This all depends on where you want to go. I could go Cassidy, but I feel like because I got Black Thought up there because of his rapping ability, I don't necessarily need to go Cassidy.
Yeah.
Although Cassidy is a great rapper to put up there. Um, oh man, shit, I might even go. I might even go one of them DVD guys. DVD guys that came from the DVD era. Believe it or not, I'm gonna do something that people wouldn't expect. I'm gonna go Lil Uzi Vert, and the reason I'm gonna go Uzi,
Yes.
I'm gonna go Uzi only because he's one of those artists from the newer era. We're from the same era. Actually, now that I think about it, we're about to say yeah, we're from actually the same era. He's one of the artists that was one of the pioneers for the newer sound in hip hop. He was one of those pioneers, and he's from the city. Um, he's very commercially successful. And Uzi's a better rapper than people think he is when he wants to be.
Hmm.
He has the whole rock thing, but he's a better when he want to rap. Uzi can actually he can go. He can actually rap. So that's my Mount Rushmore: Beans, Thought, Eve, Uzi. As far as no, I'm sorry, Beans. What was it? Beans, Black. No, I already have my
Yeah,
four. I'm
yeah,
sorry, Uzi
yeah,
not on there. It was Beans, Black Thought, Meek, and Eve. That's my Rushmore. Uzi will be an honorable mention. Uzi will be an honorable mention.
yeah. I think I would have replaced uh Wallow with Boys to Men. Uh, but
Legendary, legendary.
I didn't even realize they were in the conversation as well. But here for another day. We're almost done here. So John Cena retired yesterday. It was in Washington, close to where I'm at. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if I knew, if I paid attention, uh, I could have gone. But I'm glad that I didn't. It was very short. I would not want to take a train up there to watch it. But I watched it on TV. Man, John Cena has done a lot for my childhood. I know he was there for you. And he was actually the first person. Well, not one of. He was one of four people I saw when I first started watching wrestling. 2006. It was Edge, Lita, Ric Flair, and then John. And I know John brings a lot of memories, core memories to a lot of black people because he was like a rapper, a good rapper at that. Well, good
Yeah,
rapper. He
good
he
enough.
he was good
Good enough.
enough, and he was a
Good.
wrestler, and hip hop wasn't really was if it was embraced, it was kind of stereotypical and corny, but
Yep. Yep.
but
Yep.
for him, he was kind of like legitimate. So he retired last night, man, and it was crazy to think, So with his retirement, what are some memories you have? You and your brother have of WWE and John Cena.
Well, me and my brother had his first intro memorized. We knew the whole rap.
Yeah,
We
I
knew the
think
whole rap.
everybody
We
wants to
knew the
know.
whole rap. We knew that whole rap. Some of my favorite wrestling moments. My saddest one is Eddie Guerrero dying. Um, some of my favorite ones are the first Elimination Chamber. I saw that live.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
Goldberg joined the WWE. I remember that when it happened. Um, like we all know Goldberg's not the greatest wrestler. We know that, but
Yeah.
that was a fucking great episode. It was great. The rise of Brock Lesnar was amazing. Watching that was dope because he can wrestle his ass off, and like that was fucking fire. Him and Big Show. Um, who else? Who else? Jeff Hardy versus Undertaker. That's one of my favorite niche matches.
The
You
ladder
know,
match.
like Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. Probably one of my favorite WrestleMania matches. Um, Shawn Michaels and Kurt got some classic matches. CM Punk on the mic. A lot of those. Oh man, he was the rise of Randy Orton and his consistency. Like seeing how Randy is like, yo, Randy is. We argue this all the time. Who's the best wrestler of all time? And Randy's always mentioned. Always. Although I do think that if we're talking technically wrestling, Eddie is another guy we should be mentioning a little bit more. Because he was. I didn't. There's guys in wrestling who I didn't know were as good as they were until I got older. Eddie, Booker T, Mark Henry. These are guys who I knew were good, but when I got older, I'm like, these guys, they're fucking good, good. Like you just don't know that as a kid. You don't know how to assess it if that makes sense. Like,
Hmm.
so, um, but Stone Cold and Booker T in the grocery store, legendary. Um, it's so many, bro. I can go on forever. If I want to say one that's probably my favorite, like unanimously my favorite of all time, it might be. Oh, easy, easy. My bad. My favorite of all time was the brand wars when like ECW was coming to take over and shit like that, and
Oh,
they like yeah like when it was like SmackDown versus Raw versus like ECW or some shit like that. I think it was like that, or it was the SmackDown versus Raw. Chris Masters was in it. I remember that. Whatever that five man five was,
oh, the Survivor Series.
like when it was like SmackDown versus Raw, and Rey Mysterio got sweet chin music off the fucking 619. He was going to put a West Coast pop, and Shawn Michaels caught him right in the air. That might be my favorite moment to watch because that shit was so legendary to me. So much aura, so many greats at one time, and I feel like I'm biased, but I feel like our era of wrestling, like the era we came up watching and all that, we had greatness all in matches. Sometimes we had a match with six wrestlers, and it's all six great wrestlers. To me, that's crazy. You don't see that as consistent now, where it's like all six of these motherfuckers surefire Hall of Famers. They're all great. We got that so many times, bro. We just didn't know it. We just didn't know
Yeah.
it. We just didn't know how lucky we were to have Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Stone Cold, and Rock in the ring at the same time.
Every week.
Every week, a Kurt Angle and Edge is your undercard. Like that's like your opener. Like you're like we don't even know how good we had it that fucking Chris Ben. I know people don't like him, but Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle is like your mid card match.
Yeah.
You know how good of a roster you have if that's your mid card match. So we had a good man. We had a good wrestling was a huge part of my childhood, brother. Like huge, so huge, bro.
Yeah, and especially for me, I didn't really grow up with the Attitude Era. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
with the Ruthless Aggression Era and John. Now that Batista and John are gone, there's really pretty much Brock and Randy left. Shawn is retired. Triple H is retired. Undertaker's retired. Uh, Edge is retired. Well, he's retired from WWE. So it's kind of like winding down to like it's time to pass the torch to that next generation where from like Stone Cold it passed it to I guess our generation. So now it's like now
Mm-hmm.
that there's no more people left, it's gonna be crazy to be like WWE without John Cena is gonna be a wild thing to
Mm-hmm.
realize. But we're towards the end, and
Yeah.
I know that I'm dark right now because this is not a great room to be in with really no light above me. So, but this is at the end, so it makes no sense to try and run over there and turn it on. So, I think this is one of the things I'm gonna do every week or every time, not every week, but every time we do an episode. A message of encouragement for anybody that's watching that may be struggling with something or you don't know what the problem could be or they could be dealing with something that they don't even realize they don't know how they're going to get through it and however long you wanted it to be, what would you say
um,
to all those people who would just need a little push?
it's not as bad as you think it is. You're more capable than you think you are. Like, yeah, it's not as bad as you think it is, and you're more capable than you think you are. I think a lot of us exasperate. I think a lot of us exaggerate when things are bad because it feels like the world is on us. Um, and I think a lot of us forget what we're capable of doing. Um, a few days ago, I went out for a job interview. Not a job that I wanted or anything like that, but I went out for a job interview um, just to kind of help supplement the income right now. Um, but it's a very taxing job. But I went out for the job interview, and I had to get a TB shot earlier that day too. So I got the TB shot, but the TB shot took, and I just told you why. You're
Hmm.
learning now why it was bad. I went to get the TB shot at 10:15. They didn't give me my shot until 12 o'clock. Um, I've been sitting in the office in like the actual doctor's room for an hour. It only take about 4 minutes to give a shot. Allegedly, the computer crashed. They were working on getting the computer right. I had a job interview at 12 o'clock on Teams on my phone. So I'm like, look, man, if y'all can't do this, I'm gonna have to leave. We finally get the shot done. Break. We then immediately go leave from there. I go into the car. I get my phone. I'm on Teams. I'm like 4 minutes late. Sorry, like I got on early. They weren't there. I got on like 11:50. I got on at 12 o'clock. They didn't show up. I left the office. Finally got my shot. Came out there where they were on. So I got on there. We're doing the interview. Interview's going good. Phone dies at the end of the interview.
Mm.
After I asked him a question, phone dies. I'm sitting there with the dumb face like. So I also don't know my way back home, but it's Philly. I know Philly. So I drive. I get back home. Tell my mom what happened. I was disappointed, but then I had to think to myself, nigga, you buried your dad. You buried your brother. You were going to be a father on 3 different occasions. That was taken from you. You've been evicted. You've had guns pulled out on you. You better not fucking cry over this. This ain't nothing. This is nothing. And that's why I go to say that even if you don't have that kind of history that I have in that sense, even if you don't have that, You are much more capable than you think. Whatever you're going through is not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think. Pull yourself away from it and say, is this really what I think it is? It's probably not. A mishap, maybe your ego hurt. Who gives a fuck? You'll be all right. You all right? Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, as they say, Rome wasn't developed in a day, wasn't built in a day. And so, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Evaluate your strategy. Get a system in place that can be more efficient if that's what you need. But always remember, you're more capable than you think. And the shit, life is just not as bad as we think it is, bro. It's just not. It's not. You know, and those are my words for anyone out there going through something, man. Always remember, it's not that bad, bro. Not that bad. You'll be all right. And always believe in what you got, believe in your ability. And as long as you do those two things, you always got a shot. You always got a shot. You know, that's why that I remind myself of that every single day. Every single day.
Well, thank you for being a part of this, you know, very, very elaborate scheme to get you on Diddy's label.
Wow.
But but and we've been talking for quite a minute, so I know you got things to do. But thank you for being part of this. You know, I developed a lot more than a lot questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this light, let you get to work. But thank you for being a part of the first episode. Expected to be on my second channel, Broken Controller Productions, soon. But you can also follow his channel. Where can we find you at?
I'm everywhere under Jack Jackson Jr. I might got a three on at the end of one of my names just to separate the profiles, but I'm Jack Jackson Jr. three. Jack Jackson Jr. on every platform, YouTube, TikTok, my music name, all that. It's the same thing.